Recording stopped.
Yeah, just, you can replicate, okay? You can't replicate what you got? Some of them are different, but the question was, which is one that is an software system is better than everything. It's longer than the land, and in the land, you haven't written in like 2 years, they just got the in. That's what I think, we must be on minimum. Because they do. And so that's why I got people. You heard about this. It's, and I don't say it wrong, like on the video, right? But I don't have a fight with them right now, just like to get it done. Make sure you find them. Okay. That matters. Okay, we have everyone here.
Recording in progress.
Are we gonna be putting on, oh, we don't usually put that on for the meeting, huh? We don't have anything we need it for?
Not till 9:30.
Okay. Okay, let me know when we're live.
We are live.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the meeting of the Louisiana State Board of Social Work Examiners. We are going to get started with a note regarding the agenda. Melissa?
Sure. Good morning. A public comment period will be permitted for each agenda item requiring a vote. Members of the public who wish to provide public comment may use the raise hand function to be recognized by the chair. Any one person may provide public comment only once per agenda item. Public comments are limited to 2 minutes per speaker. Public comments are limited to the items considered by the committee. The chair may disregard or terminate any public comment that does not comply with this paragraph. Attendees of the public portion of the meeting can obtain a maximum of 1 hour of continuing education in ethics and 1 hour of general continuing education. Any email regarding continuing education will be sent within 30 days following the meeting.
Thank you, Melissa. Now we are going to go straight into a roll call vote.
So roll call. Cynthia McKee. Jamie Barney.
Present.
Melissa Haley.
Present.
Indy Saraparu.
Present.
Evan Bergeron. Trinity George.
Present.
Laura Sunseri, present.
Thank you, Laura. Let the record also reflect that Emily D'Angelo, who's the board administrator, is present, along with Sherry Morris, the board's attorney, and Jason Hessick, who's the board's prosecuting attorney. Now we will go straight into the public comment period, but before we start with that, I just want to thank everyone. We have some members of the public who are present on this very gloomy day, so thank you for taking time to come in person to the meeting. So with that, we'll get started with the public comment, and we can start with anyone who is present who would prefer to give comment. Who would like, if anyone is present that would like to give comment. And then we'll go virtual. No? Okay. Do we have any hands raised? And this is public comment related to the agenda.
Gina Rossi.
Okay, Ms. Rossi, you are recognized.
Thank you. Good morning. I am making public comment related to those persons who are requesting that virtual supervision be approved on the basis of BACS making the approval. Wanted to point out and thank the public for attending on Zoom. Many of us attended the Rules Committee meeting, and understand that this they had made a movement. They moved to request that this be addressed by the board, that they be directed to address the virtual clinical supervision issue. So many of our letters are related to that. So I wasn't sure if you wanted me to speak now or at the time when my letter was being read.
So yes, we will not have a vote relevant to that item. So you may want to go forward with this speaking on it now. We won't vote at that moment for sure. So you may want to speak to that now.
Right. So my letter is in the correspondence, and I was pointing out that the window for promulgation for a change for virtual supervision being allowed to be approved by BACS is closing. And I was very surprised, many of us were surprised, that this was not addressed in the Rules Committee. Many issues were addressed in Rules Committee, and when asked by the committee members to the chair of the Rules Committee, he reported that is because they were not directed to address that. And they decided at the end of that meeting to ask the board if they could address this at their next Rules Committee meeting. As this goes on, we are going to miss again the window of opportunity to make this change. So I do have a concern that if there is a definite a point here being made to not put it on the agenda, to not address the Rules Committee, considering how important this is to many people in the Louisiana community, and all the letters and all the evidence that we have sent you. Many of us have gone to a lot of trouble to gather this data for you.
Thank you, Ms. Rossi. Thank you for your work, and thank you for your comments. Do we have any other hands raised?
Jennifer Newman.
Okay, Ms. Hannon, we're gonna recognize. Ms. Jennifer Hannon?
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it said the host muted me for a second. So yes, I wanted to add to that. I appreciate Ms. Rossi's comments, and you know, I do think that the virtual supervision is in keeping with what we're allowing regarding virtual continuing education. And so I think it's important to note that if social workers are allowed to get continuing education virtually, it makes sense that there should be an allowance for virtual supervision. It also highlights that there aren't enough BACSs in the state of Louisiana. And by limiting the ability to provide virtual supervision, you're really impacting rural areas and folks who are living in heavily populated metropolitan areas who have a great deal of trouble getting around with all the different traffic. And so I do think that this is in keeping with what we're allowing regarding continuing education. And so I think it's important for us to move forward with the times and make allowances for people to get the supervision without unnecessary burden. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hannon, for your comments.
Nita Balcom.
Ms. Nita Balcom, you're recognized.
Good morning. So I would appreciate an understanding if you would help me understand, help all of us understand the process for moving forward positively on this issue. We were told previously that the Rules Committee was submitting to the board this issue for review so that they could be tasked with moving forward. And yet today, just moments ago, you said that you, the board would not be voting on this issue today. So could you help us understand what will be done today regarding moving forward positively with this issue and request from BACS and from the public to have better resolution regarding virtual supervision for BACS?
Yes, ma'am. I will make some comments once we finish receiving all of the public comments, because I can tell this is something that a lot of persons are very passionate about. And for the sake of time, I don't want to make a comment that is going to inspire even more comments and questions. So we're going to complete public comments and then I will make a comment. And we also still have the agenda where you will get some information. I just want to acknowledge that now so you don't think I'm ignoring you guys. Okay, so do we have any other hands raised?
Yes.
Okay.
Gwendolyn Stewart.
Okay, Ms. Stewart, you're recognized.
Yes, good morning. I totally agree with everyone is saying. I'm wondering if it would be possible, if it would be easier for the board to vote on it if like we get remote CEUs, half of those now. And if we can do half of supervision remotely and then the other half of the hours in person, would that make a difference or would that move the board forward into considering? I know there are probably other factors that maybe it's taking time to vote on or to look at remote, but maybe if we can meet it halfway, where half is approved of those hours for remote and then the other half face to face until we can maybe go fully remote, would that be a consideration?
Thank you for your comments. That can definitely be a consideration for the supervision committee. I'm guessing we got a lot of hands, so I'm gonna stop asking you that and just let you.
Derek Stevenson.
Okay, Derek Stevenson, you're recognized. Derek Stevenson. Are you speaking, Derek Stevenson, or is that just feedback? The background noise or bad connection? Okay, if we're gonna mute you, Derek Stevenson, please re-raise your hand if you have a comment. Or lower your hand if it was an error.
And
You can hear.
they hire a prosecuting attorney.
Oh, prosecuting attorney. Let's can we
person.
Yeah.
And then
Excuse me. Excuse me, somebody, we're in your house. Office. What about the prosecuting attorney?
So the full woman saying, yes.
Hello? They have us muted and they're unmuted? You got them?
No, I didn't.
Oh, they
When I
got
scroll through, it says I have to click allow to talk, so I don't know how I could hear them.
Oh, boy.
It's like somebody's office.
What
Derek Stevenson still has his hand raised.
Okay, let's try again. No, let's come back. Yeah.
Is that better?
Derek Stevenson?
Yes, ma'am. Can y'all hear me now?
Yes.
Sorry about that. It must have been, I must have muted myself.
No
I just want to, first of all, thank you guys for filling this volunteer position and the time and sacrifice that our board takes out of their day to come and participate. I know these meetings are long and I greatly appreciate what you guys offer. I simply just want to offer my support to what Gina and others are saying to support supervision, being able to remain as an online or telemed type of relationship. And that's all I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Stevenson.
I don't see anyone.
Please, everyone, please do not unmute. Please make sure you are muted. If you have the option to unmute, make sure you are muted. Okay. So, That was it for the public comment. We don't have any more hands raised, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry. Somebody else raised their hand.
Okay, we're going to
You wanna
accept it.
close it, or you wanna?
No,
take
we
it?
will allow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tasha Johnson.
Hi, Ms. Johnson, you're recognized. I'm sorry, Tasha Johnson, you're recognized.
Morning. So thank you all, first of all, for accepting public comments from all of us. And I do want to state that I am in agreement with all of the previous comments regarding allowing virtual supervision. I do work in a medical field, and I just want to say that the medical providers allow their patient to decide or select whether or not they would like to come in person for a visit, or if they would like to do it virtual. So I do think, that as professionals who are very well versed in ethics, that we should be allowed to decide whether virtual supervision is appropriate or not for any of the supervisees that we may take on. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment, Ms. Johnson.
Now more people have raised their hands.
Okay.
All right. Elizabeth Frayne.
Ms. Frayne, you have the floor. Elizabeth? You are recognized.
Okay, I'm here. Can y'all hear me?
Ma'am, can you pronounce your last name, please?
It's Frein, F-R-E-I-N, Frein, yes. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I have been a social worker in Louisiana for over 10 years and a board-approved clinical supervisor for about 3 years. During that time, I have supervised LMSWs in person, face-to-face, and virtually on a secure platform, and have found no difference in the quality of supervision, the attentiveness of either party, and am very much in favor in continuing to allow the board-approved clinical supervisors to choose or to kind of facilitate which method of supervision occurs without any further restrictions. I know as board-approved clinical supervisors, we've achieved the highest licensure in our state and have been trusted by the board to supervise and mentor younger social workers. And I think that there's no reason that that wouldn't extend to deciding if the format is face-to-face or on a virtual secure platform. So I would highly encourage the board to agree to remove any restrictions possible to facilitate more supervision of more of our social workers in our state. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Frye.
Jennifer Burris.
Ms. Burris, you're recognized.
Hi, yes, good morning. Thank you so much for allowing public comment. I have also been a social worker in the state of Louisiana since 2000 and a board accredited clinical supervisor since 2007. I've supervised countless LMSWs. I'm also a faculty member at 2 of our universities, and I have promoted the use of telehealth as well as virtual supervision, particularly at the agency that I work for, which is a hospital, and we are able to provide virtual supervision as well as telehealth. All of these are pertinent to the way that we service the community as well as our clients that we serve. Being able to have the virtual supervision is an important piece because of the fact that we do have a staffing shortage. I have promoted trying to hire LMSWs at my agency, and along with that, the ability to have that virtual supervision is going to be key for having the board accredited clinical supervisors to be able to supervise virtually within their own agency. So that individual may be on the other side of the hospital. And for the purpose of
I'm sorry, Ms. Beers. We allow 2 minutes for a comment, and you got it? Okay, go ahead.
All right, so I am begging the board to please direct the Rules Committee to promulgate the rule and allow for the board accredited clinical supervisors to make the decision individually as to whether or not virtual supervision can be used. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I think I didn't reset my timer. Melissa, okay, thank you.
Ty Lofton.
Okay, Ty Lofton, you're recognized.
Hi, good morning. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yes,
Hello?
ma'am. Ms. Lofton?
Yes. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, thank you. So good morning, board. Thank you guys for giving us the opportunity once again to speak on this topic. What I would like to bring to you guys' attention is that I did start a petition where BACS and other social workers in the state of Louisiana are trying to come together in support of giving us the option to have you guys to direct the Rules Committee to promulgate the rule in regards to allowing us the option to have continuation of virtual supervision sessions. So far, we've been able to collect close to 250 people to sign this petition in support of that. And it's only been a couple of weeks since I put this petition out. If the board would so allow, I would love to be able to send the link so you guys can also witness the support that we have in regards to this. I just want to further overly emphasize the importance of being able to have access and being able to reduce the barriers so that social workers can continue to go into the field and do the work that we so love to do. So please advise me if you guys would like to have access to this petition and see those who have already come in support, but we would like to overly express the importance of the board to direct the Rules Committee to promulgate this rule. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lofton. In regards to your petition, you may submit any information to the board that you would like to share. So the option is to submit now, showing what you've done so far, or wait until you're ready to close. It is up to you. Emily, we have.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
I don't see anybody else.
Okay, so we are going to close public comments since we don't have any more hands raised. Thank you guys for all of the information. So I said I was going to give a few comments just because I do not want to appear that the board is not paying attention and hearing and just disregarding what you're saying. But I'm not going to go into great detail on every single issue because we have discussed this several times. And you guys are free to check the agendas on the board website and look at the recordings if you would like to view those discussions. So the board has appointed a supervision committee that is headed by the board's chair, Hyacinth McKee. Dr. McKee will be arriving here momentarily. And when we get to some of the agenda items regarding this topic, she may speak more to it. So that is the reason why I'm not going to go too far into detail. But one of the questions was, what is the process? Since our current statute that we must follow states that a person has to demonstrate hardship due to travel or other hardship. That is the law the board is currently following. In order for that to be changed, then there has to be a lot of steps have to be taken. We're in the process of taking those steps, and step one was instituting the supervision committee to put together some information to share best practices across the country, so that if a decision is made that we are going to go forward with virtual supervision, it is done in a manner that best serves the public, supervisees, and supervisors. So no one is saying that that is not going to happen. I'm confident that it will happen. And I also would like to note, as you all know, because we get many requests, virtual supervision is allowed. You just have to put in a request to the board and get approval for that to happen. I think those were the major points that people actually asked a question and wanted a response to in that moment. And so we're going to move forward. And again, Dr. McKee may address this further. Okay, so that being said, let's see if we need to make any changes to our agenda.
I'm requesting that the matter of complaint number 2023-103 consolidated with 2023-154 be added to the agenda. This matter needs to be docketed for hearing.
Okay, it was 2023-103 and 2023-154. And this the agenda needs to be amended because this matter needs to be scheduled for hearing.
Correct.
So it is urgent. Okay. So do we have any motions?
Make a motion, we accept the agenda with the recommended changes.
I second it.
Okay, motion by Melissa, seconded by Trinity. Any objections or abstentions? I'm sorry. Any public comment?
You'll have to, whenever it's time, you'll have to do a roll call vote to change the agenda.
Okay. Thank you.
There's no hands raised.
Okay, so can I get a roll call vote?
Okay. Hyacinth McKee, Jamie Barney.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Melissa Haley.
Yes.
Hindi Saraparu.
Yes.
Evan Bergeron. Trinity George.
Yes.
Aura Sunseri, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, and so we have an agenda that is accepted. And now we're going to move on to the presentation of consent agreement and orders by Mr. Hesse.
Good morning.
Morning.
We have worked on a consent agreement and order with Ms. Patrice Jefferson, RSW licensure credential 9377. The board received a complaint that alleged that Ms. Jefferson was verbally abusive to a patient at her place of employment. That would be River Place Behavioral Health. The verbal abuse got to the point that other employees of the facility had to de-escalate the situation twice. We have agreed with Ms. Jefferson that she has violated Louisiana Revised Statute 37, 27, 17, 5, 7, and 11, and Louisiana Administrative Code Title 46, 25, 107B, and 109B. The agreed upon disciplinary measures in this matter is that Ms. Jefferson will be placed on probation for a period of 1 year. During that period of probation, Ms. Jefferson will be supervised by a board approved clinical supervisor 2 times per month for 1 hour for those 12 months of probation. She will also pay $1,000 in fines and $585 for fees. Lastly, she will complete 6 hours of continuing education in ethics.
Thank you very much. Do we have any motions regarding this consent agreement?
Make a motion that we accept the consent agreement.
I second that.
Second.
Okay, so motion by Melissa, seconded by Candy. She was coughing.
Yeah.
You stole it.
You're good.
Do we have any public comment related to this?
No.
Okay, any objections or abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you very much. We need to just get the signatures for that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll leave it for y'all for signature. And I would like to move to take up, I know it was added to the agenda, but I would like to take up 2023-103 consolidated with 2023-154.
Okay. Yes.
And that is to set a hearing date for the administrative complaint in those 2 consolidated matters. With that, we would like to see if the board would be willing to docket that for the January 2024 meeting.
So that would be January 5th.
Okay, so January 5th, 2024 for 2023-103 combined with 2023-154.
So move.
Second.
Okay, moved by Melissa, seconded by Bora. Any public comment? You're too slow.
No public comment.
Okay, any objections or objections? No, okay, motion carries. Thank you very much. Sorry about that. I had added it to the complaint section even though I was hearing you.
This is a little quiet today.
Dr. asking for a 5-minute break.
Okay.
And then she'll be here.
She just spoke up. Yes. So, does everyone okay with a break?
Yeah.
Okay, so we will take a break and we will come back at 10. 9:10. I'm sorry, 9:10. I know she said 5, but it never works out that way. So we will come back at 9:10.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress. Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
We are going to return from our break. Are we live? Thank you. So our wonderful board chair has returned, and I am going to slide on over and let her take over the meeting. Dr. McKee.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Barney, for filling in for me this morning. That weather was not kind. That sky opened up and it just cried out, but I'm sure that the trees and the plants are happy for the refreshments. So with that being said, we are returning back to the meeting at 9:10 a.m. We are going to need to do a roll call. And so can you do that for us, Bora?
Okay. Hyacinth McKee.
Present.
Jamie Barney.
Present.
Melissa Haley.
Present.
Candice Saraparu.
Present.
Evan Bergeron. Trinity George.
Present.
Ora Senseri, present.
All right, and we also have our legal counsel, Sherry Morris, that's in attendance with us, as well as our administrator, executive director, Emily D'Angelo, that's present, as well as members in the public in-person members. So thank you so much to Dr. Bonnie's point. Thank you for traveling in this weather to come to the meeting today. So with that being said, we left off at item 3, the minutes of the meeting held October 20, 2023, and the strategic plan for October 21, 2023. Have that been discussed? Has a motion been made to approve? Where are we?
No.
Pending the motion.
Okay, and so at this time, is there a motion to regarding the minutes of the meeting?
Make a motion to approve the minutes for October. of 2023.
All right, motion made by Trinity. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Candice. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor?
No.
Any objections or abstentions to accepting the minutes? Hearing none, minutes accepted. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda is a correspondence from the City of New Orleans Health Department, application for continuing education approval organization. Let's see. Correspondence. Looking at this correspondence, I did not. Is there any conversation regarding this?
I found no issue. It appears that they had everything that was that we require of them to have. So regarding the City of New Orleans Health Department's application to be a CE approval organization, I would like, if there was no further discussion, I would like to make a motion to approve their application to be a CE approval organization.
Second. There's a motion on the floor made by Trinity to approve the application, seconded by Melissa. Any public comment pertaining to the motion?
No.
Any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, motion carries. And I just want to say thank you, Continuing Education Chairperson and the committee, for functioning in the way we've discussed and actually doing a lot of the pre-work and vetting these applications. It makes it a little bit more easier for the full board to be able to move throughout the agenda and attack issues that are very pertinent. So thank you again in advance to you and your committee for the pre-work on vetting these applications. Next item on the agenda. Second. Oh, you second. Thank you so much. It really is very helpful, although it's not really the committee's responsibility to do that, but they have really stepped up and have helped us in that manner. So thank you. Next item on the agenda is Jewish Family Services of Greater New Orleans, application for continued education approval organization. This is a reinstatement. And if there is any discussion on this from anyone?
I would like to say that this is an application that we've seen again, and this was one that we requested them to send an additional letter, and they did. I am proud to recommend that we approve this application as a CE approval organization. They have all the requested documentation that we ask of them. So I make a motion to approve the Jewish Family Service of Greater New Orleans as a CE approval organization.
There's a motion made on the floor by Trinity to approve this application. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Melissa. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor?
No public comment.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is an application for continued education approval for NAMI New Orleans. This is a reinstatement. Any discussion regarding this application?
Okay, NAMI New Orleans, it appears NAMI, National Alliance on Mental Health of New Orleans. It appears that they have all the required documentations that we requested and that we asked. There was no issue with this application, so I recommend that they be approved as a CE approval organization. So I make a motion.
There's a motion on the floor to approve this application from NAMI New Orleans. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Candice. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor?
No public comment.
Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is an application for continued education approval for Violink. Via? Oh, thank you. Is there any dialogue about this?
It appears that Via link, has all the required documentation, that, we ask, of them to have as a CE approval organization. So, I recommend, well, I make a motion to approve them as a CE approval organization.
Moved by Trinity to approve this application, second by Melissa. Any public comment pertaining to the motion?
No public comment.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Next item on agenda is a correspondence from Nita Balcom requesting to provide the 6.5 hour BACS workshop.
That's important on these two.
Is there any dialogue regarding this application?
The only thing that I see, I just had a question. Everything looked good to me, but I would have just liked to see to have seen a PowerPoint just so that I could just reviewed it. Is that generally done in the past? Do they provide PowerPoints or anything?
No, typically it's not done in the past. You know, people just submit their applications, but they're not mandated to submit their entire training or workshop for us to review. That's not.
The agenda looks sufficient.
The agenda is always
detailed enough.
And, you know, keep in mind that the correspondence is available to the public, and so no one would want to post their entire presentation for a training they plan to offer to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're probably still developing their PowerPoints based on current information.
Which is why I listed it as a question, because I didn't know, but it looked good to me. I had no issue with it.
Yeah, it was a good question. Just want to keep that in mind.
And once they get the approval, they'll finish their PowerPoint.
Right. Any other dialogue regarding the 6.5 hour BACS workshop?
Do you need a motion, Madam Chair?
Yeah, if
So
y'all
moved.
ready.
So moved.
So it's been moved by Melissa to approve the request to provide the 6.5 hour workshop. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment regarding this request? Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, so the next item on the agenda is a request to post supervision presentations from the same individual prior. And I believe that this is something that I'm thinking that continuing education also was talking about. I was at one of y'all previous meetings was talking about individuals literally posting when they're offering the workshop, how long it's going to be, what's going to be entailed on our website so that people are aware of what's offered and available to them. I know your committee has been talking about that, and I believe there's been some dialogue about moving forward with that. I don't know, board, how you feel about that. Emily? Yes.
I just would like to offer that when we are launched with our new company, that will be possible again.
Yes.
We lost that. That was an unintentional consequence when we moved. And so anybody that's a CE pre-approval organization can have a login and a password, and they can go in and put their information in. So like right now, so the board, has a supervision consultant, and we have published when her trainings are, and that's what this is in reference to.
Where is that? I'm looking for it on the website, but where is it on the website? You recall? Okay.
I guess my only question is that does that appear as if we're endorsing that particular workshop? I mean, cause it's fine to offer it, but somebody went to it and didn't like it, does it?
Yeah, so you mean when other entities put their workshop information on there? Yeah, I've wondered about that, because I wondered if that was why we don't have it.
No, what she's saying is you're posting information from one specific person, offerings for a provider, but we're not posting from all the providers. But is she talking about the one that is the board sponsored?
It's board sponsored.
Yeah.
And that's why it's on the
Okay,
website.
so that's to me that is slightly different, that if we, because if we put every one of them out there, unless we have a disclaimer saying that we're not endorsing it, because we would not have seen it, and some people may not like the presentation.
Or they could be sharing information that's not current.
Right.
And
And we don't know.
we're not,
Reasons
yeah.
why, and then you don't want the appearance to look like you are endorsing it.
Right.
But
You know.
Or endorsing it. She's asking for the board approve, because we approved it.
Right. But no, but Melissa's talking, right,
Asking-
right, I think Melissa's talking about two
You
different.
talking about in general, or we talking about the
In
person?
general.
Even with this one,
Correspondence.
even with this one,
We are endorsing it.
no, what I'm saying
Right.
is, we're endorsing her ability to be able to offer CEUs. I'm not endorsing
No,
that
we're
someone should
offering this
attend it.
specific, oh, you're saying we're promoting it. I thought we were
Correct.
endorsing it, like saying we approved it.
Candice, we put the 6.5 hour workshops that the board approves on the website.
Okay.
What she is
Oh,
talking
she's not
about,
talking about that.
she's talking about she does the 3 hour BACS renewal workshop. And that's the one she's talking about, that we haven't put that up there, but we do put the
Okay.
6.5 hour workshop.
I'm confused, sorry, Melissa.
Okay, so yeah,
All right.
I think I'm getting a little lost too, so let's.
And
For our
appreciate that.
We have the 6.5 one, the 6.5 hour one, but are we also putting any of that's the one that we are contracted with the provider to provide, that's the only other ones we post.
Correct.
So currently, the only ones posted are the ones
That our consultant does.
that our consultant does, that the board is in contract with.
Or that the board has pre-approved, because the rules require, the law, one of them requires that those workshops, the 6.5 hour workshop, be pre-approved by the board.
Okay.
Right.
So since the board is looking at it and the board approved it, I've been able to post it.
Okay. And so she's saying that, okay, so now that hers is approved, hers will also be posted, the person who sent the correspondence.
That's what she wants. yes.
Okay, okay.
And so,
Okay.
again, to Melissa's point, when she just, I think to her point is just, we just want to be cautious, but if it's something that we are endorsing, that we're supporting, that we approve, and it's a 6.5, go ahead, we got the green light, we do it anyway. Y'all got it? We're on the same page?
Yeah.
We got, okay. All right, cool. All right, so, thank you for your correspondence. All right, moving right along to the next item on the agenda is Alice Robin, question relative to best practice.
So do we not need a motion
Yeah,
for her
regarding-
request?
Yeah, regarding the
She's
request
making a specific request.
Okay,
for
so,
the CE, because there's no way for us to
because as it
offer.
stands right now.
Yeah, because
Okay.
of the platform.
Right.
So do we need to make us?
No.
I don't okay, so we need a motion to make sure that all the 6.5 workshops that have been pre-approved by the board are placed on the website for viewing. Is that correct? I heard
You
the
don't
outside.
need a motion for the 6.5 hour workshop.
About
It's
this one.
procedure. You need a motion if you're going to begin posting the 3 hour BACS renewal workshops.
That's what she said.
Okay.
But that wasn't what the correspondence.
It's the second one.
The second one doesn't say anything about 3 hours.
No.
But it
It
doesn't,
says BACS renewal.
Yeah,
which
that's
is
where I'm at.
what that
The
is.
second email, I'm with Emily.
Okay, thank you.
wait a minute.
Oh, for Bex, okay,
Uh-huh.
that's what I was trying to understand, when we also talking about different
So-
hours, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's done.
Right,
That's
I
why
thought it was
going on.
already, I thought we were already at
Yeah.
the point where it was done, and so to circle back, there is still dialogue on how we wanna proceed on, this,
So-
correspondence.
Does the board currently list any 3 hour presentations on the board website?
The one that the board sponsors is listed on the website.
Okay, so the same as the 6.5, the one that we're contracted with the board.
That one's posted, as well as anyone that any workshop, any 6.5 hour workshop for BACS that the board has approved.
6.5. Okay, that's one bucket.
Yeah, but we did that one.
We got
But
that
this is about the 3-hour one, right?
3 hours.
Yes.
Okay, so but the only 3-hour one that's posted is the one that is sponsored by the board,
Yes.
where we're contracted with the person that provides it.
Yes.
Okay.
So the request is to have a motion to be able to
Address
post the renewal, batch renewal workshops,
For this
correct?
specific person.
All right.
Yeah.
But we don't have an agenda for her 3-hour renewal courses.
Not in this correspondence
Right.
request.
Yeah.
So we do not have an agenda. So, but I don't want to massage your motion, but you could put something in place to allow space for if everything works out, then we can proceed. You could still put something in place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so.
And
Is that what's posted the agenda or is the?
And I foresee that
Is
this is going to, we're going to see more of these requests.
Well, I think if we make a motion, it'll be regarding this process and not necessarily this one specific.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
It'll be an overarching.
Mhm.
So when whatever you make, you have to allow space.
For everyone.
So I still have a question about that. So Emily, when you were saying that this current system, we've had some glitches with it,
Mm-hmm.
was that regarding that creating a new category? Because that might have to do with something with Certamy or?
So currently, with the current system, anything that we need posted, we have to ask them to post it.
Mhm.
When we move to the new system, it will be the responsibility of so like Nita would be able to log in and put all of her workshops in. We would still post the 6.5 hour workshop. I mean, unless the board decides to change that we've pre-approved. But they will have the opportunity to do it. So she doesn't have the opportunity to do it. So we would do it. We would ask the platform people to post it.
Since we are in the middle of transition, can we curtail this particular request until this new system is in place, and we can allow the responsibility to be at the hands of the BAC's supervisors, and we can let them honor their request and fulfill this responsibility, because this is going to happen soon, rather sooner than later. We can allow that to happen. We can allow that transition to take place and let them do this instead of having Emily and her team take on this request, because we're going to be inundated with these requests.
So I had a question, just because I finally found it on the website. The one, if you go under, well, I can't.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
The only renewal we have posted is the one where we are actually, like it's us. You send the money to LS, to the board, right? Is that
Yes.
So she's saying that's showing favoritism? Got it. Now I'm finally figuring it out. The only one that's posted is the one that the board sponsors.
The one that the board actually offers through our contractor,
Yes.
our supervision consultant. That's the one
And
that.
so now she's saying that's showing favoritism.
Right, but the issue is, we right now, we're in a situation where we have database changes too, okay?
Yeah.
So there's gonna be an opportunity for people, this is the hope, and that's the dialogue, hopefully it happens, that people can actually, like Emily said, get a password and get access and put their information in
Yes.
this new database and platform. We're working to do that overall, so that will minimize that.
Mhm.
To Trinity's point, his concern about being inundated with all of these, requests and who could manage it and all of that. I think for the purposes of today, we could consider entertaining a motion to hope, this is what I'm thinking, I don't want to pass our motion. Just to entertain a motion to post these renewal workshops if we decide to go that route. until such time, right? Until our platform allows us to allow the individual to do it themselves. So
And what I just stated, Hi, was that we're in the middle of transition. We're about to transition into a new system.
But we don't have a time, we have a prayerful timeline.
I want Melissa to reiterate her point now that I understand, because I think your point was valid.
Well, what I guess what I wanted to ask, is it possible to, send this concern to committee?
Yeah.
Because before, we don't have the platform right now, and we don't want to set a precedent that the new platform can't handle.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation,
Absolutely.
that we defer it to the committee.
That's an absolute great, I think, recommendation to let CE take a look at it, only because they have been dialoguing about this anyway, you know, and so, but that will be something that,
and I agree with Melissa, because there could be concerns about endorsing something that we haven't been able to fully vet. The contractor that we contract with, we have fully vetted that person, as well as the work that she proposed. Like, she is doing it based on the board's processes, where somebody may not know exactly what the processes are. And so, I agree with Melissa that it should be reviewed by the committee.
Dr. McKee.
Yes.
You haven't called for public comments, but I just want to say this, because she doesn't realize it. Ms. Nita, I do see that your hand is raised. I'm not ignoring you. I'm waiting for the chair to call for public comments.
thank you.
And the 9:30 person, remember, we had something in there.
Thank you so much.
So do I need to make a motion to defer this to the committee, and then?
Yeah, you
okay.
can, yeah.
So if I may, make a motion to defer this request for committee until we can determine if the platform can assist with, the request and the volume of future requests.
And I'm gonna second that you send it to my committee.
Okay, so a motion's been made to defer this request for a careful review of the Continuing Education Committee, made by Melissa, second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this motion? At this time, I am calling for public comment. Ms. Balcom, you are being recognized.
Thank you for recognizing me. And my first thought is that the request for provider information to be listed on the website isn't simply for myself. Although I do not believe there are an overwhelming number of providers for this material out there, there are nonetheless some besides the contracted provider. So that's my first thought. My second thought is that if the LabSUI website is able to list a specific provider's information, then LabSUI website can certainly list other provider information. No need to wait for the new platform. And as far as being inundated with requests for provider information to be listed on the website, again, this specific supervision material is not such an overwhelming presentation out there. I get requests all the time. Are you doing anything new? Yes, absolutely. These are my dates. What if those dates don't work for you? Let me know, and I will, work with you to identify some other dates, etc. So the concern about being inundated, my thought is you're more inundated right now with requests for where can we find that material than you are would reasonably be expected to be inundated by requests by providers just to have their information made available to other people. The other concern that I have regarding this, again, is about access. At this moment, if a person goes to the website, they presume, it's reasonable to presume that this is what's available, the only thing available. And LabSUI is essentially promoting that belief because that's all that's offered on the website. And it's now offered on the website. It wasn't offered prior to a few months ago, because I go to the website on a regular basis when I'm presenting my BACS material. And then the last thing for, regarding we haven't vetted the material. How do we know that they're, giving out material that's accurate, et cetera. You haven't vetted the BACS renewal workshops ever. Again, the expectation is that the presenter is, providing updated information, providing salient information, et cetera.
So much, Ms.
I don't
Neal.
know if I've exceeded my 2-minute time limit.
You have, and I've been gracious, and I've let it go over a little bit more too than the 2 minutes, so I want you to know that. But thank you so much for your public comment and speaking to your actual correspondence regarding. It seems like you are bringing up a lot of commentaries regarding this issue, and I think that this is why it is the recommendation for the committee to review it more in depth. This is what I'm understanding why the motion is live. So with that being said, any other public comments pertaining to this motion?
Yes,
Yes.
I see the hand raised. Just give me just a second.
1 second, we are going to be calling on you.
Gina Rossi.
Gina Rossi, you're being recognized.
I would like to say that I do support Ms. Bocum's message that this doesn't need to move forward now as opposed to later. I understand the optimism about bringing on the new company, but we all know the best laid plans that we have may not come about, so we really don't have a time frame for that. And I also want to say, if the issue is of vetting, then it would be a good idea to provide the community what is the definition, what do you need to have an organization or the person who is providing these presentations vetted. What does that mean? That needs to be spelled out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your comment. Any other public comments pertaining to this motion?
No.
Okay, any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, we're gonna get on to the next item on the agenda.
So, sorry, our CPA was scheduled for 9:30 and he is on.
He's on?
Yes.
Okay.
So let me find him again.
All right, and so I'm just being alerted that our CPA is, has arrived, and we are about to let him in to speak to our financial statements. And so we are going to defer to a report from Rob Furman once he signs on.
Yeah, well, Rob's on. Rob, I tried to upgrade you to a panelist to put your face on the screen. Do you not want to be on the screen?
Oh, it asked me to unmute. That was the only option I saw.
Okay, on my end, it said you declined being a panelist.
Oops. I didn't mean to. If I did, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's all right, no problem.
Okay, now it says.
Okay, so when I see you come up, I'm gonna move you to a screen that the board members can see you on.
Okay, I'm here.
Is that TV on?
It's on, but I can see your mouse a little bit.
See it, but it's not wanting to scroll over.
It was over here. Oh, your mouse is.
No, him. I'm trying to get him over there.
Well, it's not that hot outside yet anyway. I can just go. But then it gets kind of warm too, you know, when people are talking.
Last month.
Too on it in the morning.
Ah.
There you go.
There he is. All right, thanks for your patience, Rob.
It's all good. Emily, would it be better if I shared my screen that had does everyone have the October financial statements in their packages? Is that?
Yeah. So since they actually have July through October was scanned and put into their board member account.
Okay. Would it make most sense to just go over October? I think the October has the monthly P&Ls, through July through October. The balance sheets at this point, I don't know that there's really much benefit of going over those July, August, September balance sheets, statement of net position. So it'd probably make most sense just to go over October. Is that okay?
I'm fine
That's
with
fine.
that.
We're fine with that. Please proceed, Mr. Furman. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, so if you can go into your packets and open up, get to the statement of assets, liabilities, and equity modified cash basis as of October 31st, 2023. That's the first statement we can talk about.
Are y'all there?
Yes.
Okay.
Which
They're there whenever you're ready.
Okay, got it. Okay, so you can see here, as of the end of October, the board had 1,643,000 of cash and a CD with Whitney Bank. The prepaid expenses there, the $4,487, that's the rent that is paid at the end of each month for the ensuing month. Total assets of 1,647,000. We have a small amount of accounts payable. Accounts payable other, the 21,000. Those are amounts due to lasers that are paid in the next month. So we end the month with total equity net position of 1,625,000. So that's your 1,647,000 of total assets less the liabilities. So 1 million. That's your reserve essentially is 1,625,000. Okay. And remarkably, it's very, very, comparing this to same time last year, you're right there, basically in the same spot, maybe a little less than last year. If you want to go to the next page, that's the statement of revenues and expenses, modified cash basis for the 4 months ending October. You can see this is the monthly P&Ls. You can see we had income, renewals coming in July and August, then it falling off in September, October. We have total revenue collected through October of $478,000. Comparing that to same time last year, we were at $452,000. So very, very similar results comparing to last year. The expense-wise, we had total expenses through October 31st of $273,000. So revenues have exceeded our expenses through October 31st of $205,587. Same time last year, that was, got it right here, $246,000. So very, very similar results as to compared to last year. If you want to take a moment and look over the expenses, if you see anything that catches your eye, I know there were a couple items that kind of caught my eye, so I did some research in case anyone has questions. I should be able to answer those.
What caught your eye?
Yeah. Tell us what caught your eye.
Okay, well, hold on, I'll tell you. Let's see. There was the bank charges in September look kind of high, but that's really all that is just merchant fees from all the renewals that were coming in. I think the equipment rental in August looked a little high. I believe that was the payoff of a lease, Emily, if I'm correct. I think we were paying $172 a month, and then there was a large payment of $860. It ended with an $860 payment in August. Right. So complaint consultant looked high in September, but that was simply just a payment to Lisa Lipsy. Same thing, computer consultant, Emily, I believe that was was that the last payment to CertaMe? Or I know we were paying them, because of the transition and all to the new platform, or working towards getting to the new platform, but that was the $5,600 payment to CertaMe in August. What else? July had a large payment in consultant expense, and that was just
Hold on 1 second, Rob. Emily wants to comment about that payment. Go ahead, Emily.
Yes.
Yes.
We're paying CertaMe, and we pay for 3 months at a time. So you're not going to see that hit every month. You're going to see it hit about every 3 months.
Okay. What else? Let's see. Consultant expense in July looked high, and that was.
Thank you so much. Real quick, to introduce your
I had a question. I see insurance in July of 2023 for $2,121.
So wait, hold on. I tell you what. Let me do this. Let me let him finish your report, and y'all circle back with y'all specific questions. Can y'all do that? Let me let him do his report. I'm sorry about that. Go ahead, because he is on the time.
No worries. No problem.
And then your board is going to ask questions. Don't forget your questions, y'all. Okay.
Sure. The consultant expense in July, $8,300. That was a payment to Agilify. Group insurance, it kind of is up and down. That's let's see, where was that? There it is. Yeah, $2,000, $5,200, $1,800, $2,900. I'm on the top of the second page of that statement of revenues. We looked at that, and I think there's really. I believe the large payment in August may be a timing, but I think overall, if you look, it's there's nothing unusual going on there. It's really probably more than anything just timing. Yeah, that was about it. Those were the things that kind of caught my attention when I was looking at that statement of revenues and expenses. The last statement, if you want to keep flipping the pages, is the budgetary comparison. You can see we're pretty much right on with the budget. We have collected $478,000 of revenues, budget-wise. What we do is some of the revenue sources we spread evenly throughout the year, and some of them we look historically how we've collected the budgeted funds, and we try to budget that in a similar fashion. So, budget-wise, we're right in line with what we expected. Expense-wise, everything looks good. We're $53,000 under our expense budget through October, so that's good. Overall, we're at a positive budget variance of $43,000, and that's really about all I have. More than happy to answer any questions I can answer off the top of my head. If there's anything I can't, obviously I can look into it more and get back to you.
All right, now the floor is open for questions. Trinity.
Okay, so page 2, July insurance, $2,121. And that's a different question. I know you said something about group insurance, but this is not related to group insurance. So this was in July of 2023, and it said insurance 2,121. I'm looking at August, September, October, and there was no cost related to insurance. So was that just an unnecessary expense? Was that just a one-time thing?
It's an annual.
That was just
right. Yeah.
So that's operating. So that's related to the building. Or what?
Yes, that's our Office of Risk Management.
Oh, okay.
That's for all of our property.
When we hear insurance, we think health.
Yeah,
so
that's what I thought it was. Something.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah.
Do you do we get the actual cash in the bank statements?
Yes, Emily sends us the bank statements each month as she receives them. We perform the bank reconciliation for the board, send it back to Emily for her review and approval. So everything is reconciled every month.
Thank you.
I know it balances out, but I'm just very curious. I was trying not to bring it up, but I'm just curious about the rent and how we paid $90 one month and then.
So, the $90 is the storage that we rent for all of our excess files. So like, we don't get rid of anything.
Okay.
So, and then the 4,700 and whatever, that's our lease.
Okay, and so we just kind of missed the month that paid
Okay,
twice one month?
probably,
Okay,
yes.
okay. I'm like, why did we?
Right. Right. If it was cut on the last day of the month or the first day of the month.
Thank you.
Any other questions, y'all, for Mr. Furman regarding the budget? Financial statements. Okay. Well, thank you, Mr. Furman, for your time, and thank you for coming. We will ask you again at some point to come, but thank you so much for coming today.
Not a problem. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.
And everything's all caught up, so it looks.
Y'all have a great day.
Everything's all caught up. I'm hearing the board saying everything's all caught up. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank
You're
you.
very welcome. Bye-bye.
Yes.
If I may, have we ever thought about or looked at what digitizing, the records that you have in storage?
So that is on my, succession planning list. Yes, by the time I leave here, I want us to be totally paperless, because that's just too much stuff.
It is, that is.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really big expense.
It's a big expense. And yes, to your question, Melissa, at our strategic planning meeting in July, that is one of our priorities, in terms of, and it went under technology, right? And being more leaner, right? And we've had conversations about how different ways that we can be leaner. And I will say, so far, like, we don't have cassette players no more. We tell people we don't have cassettes, we don't have CD. Well, we still have CDs. We definitely have VHS no more. So sometimes, you have to move into that place, right? To where you have to look at waste. And I know that Bora's committee has had conversations, and Emily has taken the lead really on starting to minimize on the use of paper. Like, so they're taking smaller steps. Like, notice we don't get those stacks of papers to review anymore. We get drop boxes or encrypted messages from her. So the staff is taking their smallest steps to decrease waste, and those are just some ways, but that is on the plan.
Ultimately, the stuff will start deteriorating. Paper will deteriorate.
Yes.
And then, of course, we're disaster prone as well. So, it is a fabulous idea, and, I definitely something that I'd be looking into.
Oh, cool. Yeah, we've been talking about it, but yeah, that's part of our planning, like Emily says. So, all right, everyone. So we, do I need a motion to accept this? Yeah.
Motions for, accepting all 4 of the, financial statements.
So I'm gonna do a global motion, if that's okay with the board. I need a motion to accept the financial statements for the period ending July 31st, August 31st, September 30th, and October 31st.
So moved.
And 2022 amounts versus 2023 amounts. Report. Okay, it's been moved by Trinity. Is there a second by Jamie? Any public comment pertaining to this item?
No hands raised.
Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, so now we gotta flip back over. So please let the record reflect 5A is done. All right, so we're gonna flip back over and go to item 4H, which is a correspondence. Let me go back.
4G.
I'm sorry, 4G. Thank y'all. 4G, which is a question relative to best practice. I need to be able to pull that back up. So if you would give me the opportunity to do that. All right, I got it. So we have a correspondence question relative to best practice. So I first of all, I appreciate people sending comments and questions to help guide and assist. Typically, the board does not get into the weeds of providing social workers and clinicians information as it relates to best practice. What we typically do is refer you to the rules. But we cannot tell you whether or not DBT or what type of treatment modality that you use is best for your practice. That is just not our role. And we get these often, and I think that these questions are informational, right? And I think they're educational too, particularly for individuals who are trying to get information. But again, we typically don't confirm or deny what's best practice for our social workers. That is something that is done by themselves, and they can consult their liability insurance carrier, and get, legal consult themselves, or peer groups. But that's not peer groups, consultations. What else you want to say, Bora? What you think? Consults, yeah. Right? Because we do that as well, right? We consult with each other when we are practicing. So, any comments about this? Like, am I on the right track, y'all?
Yes.
What your thoughts are about it?
I completely agree. That would be something that, that's a clinical decision, and the board doesn't typically involve itself in clinical decision making and the provision of services.
In terms of best practice.
Yes.
Any other comments? Any dialogues about this? Okay. All right, folks. So we're going to move on to the next item on the agenda, which is a correspondence from Gina Rossi regarding virtual and remote supervision. And I believe that there was some public comments that was made earlier regarding virtual supervision, and we do see the request. I would like to ask the board to just give me a brief moment to kind of bring y'all up to speed as to what we are trying to do as it relates to remote supervision, because there's such an overwhelming request for that. And so I want to take the moment and just kind of provide some updated information. So factually, we had a supervision committee meeting that was scheduled in October to address matters. That meeting was canceled for personal reasons. There were reasons that we could not go forward with that meeting. The meeting has been rescheduled. The meeting is scheduled for Friday, December 8th at 1:30, from 1:30 to 3:30. With that being said, it cannot be assumed because the supervision committee has not met that work has not been done on this very issue. Work has been done behind the scenes, not only by requests made and submitted by the public, but also individuals that have submitted requests to the board to carefully look at the matters as it relates to remote supervision. We have had requests that have come in to say, let's move forward and do 100% remote supervision. We've also had requests to say, let's do 50%, let's do hybrid. We've also had individuals that say they're not sure if they're ready to just fully do their entire supervision 100% because of their learning style. With that being said, that is one of the reasons why the supervision committee is being convened, so that they can take in consideration all requests that has come before the board, and not just from requests that come from the loudest voices. Please know that the board this is not falling on deaf ears. We truly recognize, and I do not believe that anyone that sits here on this board feels that we should not engage in remote supervision. In fact, no one on the board has said to me that they were against remote supervision. No one has said that. But based on what we have seen as a board, that we cannot always disclose to the public, because there are confidential matters that we just cannot share. And as your colleague and as your chair, I am appealing to you to understand why it was important that the board decided to allow a supervision committee to work hand in hand with the rules committee to draft said rule. Because of the information that we have seen, we have unfortunately have seen instances where the supervision relationship has not been in the best interest of either party. That's the best way I can say it, because we cannot tell y'all every single thing that comes across our desk as a board. We have to remain confidential. So just know that it's not falling on deaf ears. There is work that's being done behind the scene, not just by, and I thank you, Ms. Rossi, for your work. I really do. And I thank the other social workers that are working, and they're standing strong on their position. And I appreciate the information. I appreciate the data. please know that your data is being considered, it's being heard, but your data is not the only data. With that being said, we have been able to discover additional data that can support some of the other requests that we have gotten from social workers that indicates that there are 16 jurisdictions that factually allows remote supervision, but they have parameters and safeguards in place. We have also been able to obtain data to show, and I will go more into detail in the supervision committee meeting that's next week, to show that there are some states that have not even begun to approach the process of even discussing remote supervision. That is not even indicated in their rules. And so to say that Louisiana is behind the ball, really, in my opinion, is not fair to the state of Louisiana and the work that the state of Louisiana has done around supervision. Case in point, we actually have an existing rule in our books, 503H. It may not be the rule that we like, it may not be the rule that we want, but we actually have a rule in our books regarding supervision. Thank goodness for the previous board who even considered that and made that a rule when they drafted it. Otherwise, we would really be in a serious situation right now because we wouldn't have nothing on the books. So to say that Louisiana is behind the ball, I think it's unfair to the work of the state of Louisiana. And I truly say that. And I'm saying that based on the data that I have reviewed that shows that we are actually working our butts off to ensure that we can get something done. And so I'm appealing to our social workers. I'm appealing to our public to let them know that we are working. Just because we weren't able to convene a meeting does not mean that there hasn't been pre-work around this matter. Also, I want to speak to the rules promulgation process and the conversation about us missing the window of opportunity to promulgate the rule. First and foremost, if you look at the rules promulgation process, and I know I'm being loud on Zoom, it's not an easy process, y'all. It really is not. First of all, you're looking at an 84-page document, and that if you do not have a foundation and legal in a legal discipline, it's somewhat challenging to navigate. And I'll be frankly honest with you. And there are some of us that are social workers that are champions in that field, and for them, it's probably easier for them to navigate. But it is an 84-page document. And there's a process to rules promulgation. And so I'm taking this time to appeal to the public, and I don't want to take up too much of the board time, but I want the public to know that their board is working for them in their best interest. With that being said, if we left today with a perfect rule, the sky is blue and it will remain blue forever and ever, it will not become law until almost next summer. And that's if it's perfect. That's if it goes through all of the proper channels, leaving from us. Like if it left from us perfect, and it still has to navigate through all these other steps, right? Before it even becomes law. So it's not like a policy change. So for instance, if we said, oh, we want to change a policy, policy is quicker. Policy is quicker. Rules are not. There's a process. And so I think it's important for people to educate and arm themselves and know that. No, this is not an opportunity for me to teach people. That's not where I am. But I'm trying to plead to you to let you know that your board is working in your best interest. Please know that we're working. And I understand the urgency of wanting this to be heard. With that being said, the supervision committee is convening next Friday, December 8th at 1:30. We might be able to do it at 1. We're going to see how that goes. The supervision committee has been charged to review the entire chapter 5. That's a lot of work. In addition to the remote supervision piece that we know that we as social workers are very passionate about. That charge was given to the supervision committee at the request of the rules committee because they asked for assistance in drafting a rule with data to help them because at that time they were uncomfortable. They were saying, okay, we know this is an issue, we want, but we need help with it. We need help with it. And that was based on the information that the board was receiving about the supervision process needing some support. So this is why all of this came about. And so what I'm asking the public to do is to not always follow on misinformation. Arm yourself with education. Ask the board questions as you always do, but don't make assumptions that the board is not working in your best interest. And please don't make assumptions that we're not hearing you. We are hearing you. We are hearing you, but we are hearing everyone, not just a set amount of people. We have to hear everyone. We are the board of LCSW BACs. We are the board of LCSWs. We are the board of LMSWs. We are the board of CSWs. We are the board of RSWs. We are not just the board of a subsection of licensees. And that is not what we signed on to be. So I want to say that, and that's it. Please trust and know we are working in your best interest. And now at this time, if the board has any questions for me, and thank y'all so much for the time, it's just, I have to let y'all know that we are working in your best interest. Any questions from the board?
I have
Melissa.
Madam Chair, I appreciate the information about the process. And so, because the questions do imply that there are barriers to prevent this from happening. Mm-hmm. So I guess what I'm asking is based on and I don't know, this is a Sherry question, I don't know, but based on the process, mm-hmm. How, if until it is promulgated, yep. Until that happens, if people have individual requests, they're going to have to make those individual requests. There's nothing the board can do to change that until the rule is promulgated.
That is correct. And we've been saying that for months and months and months. And Melissa, thank you for clarifying and saying it that way, because the picture is being painted that the board is not doing anything. The picture is being painted that the board is missing opportunities to work, and that is just not the case. It's just not the case. And there's not, because we're bound by a lot of confidentiality. Certainly we can't always release privileged information to every single person, but I'm asking the public to, one, educate themselves on the rules promulgation process. If you knew that rules promulgation process, I believe it would decrease a lot of the misinformation and attacks. Really, that process, if it was perfect, Melissa, if it was perfect, it still won't become law. Right now, today, it still will not become law until April, May. If it was perfect, that means going through all the hoops after it left us, right? And so I think a lot of that is that people think that it's just as quick as changing a policy, and I wish it was. I really wish it was, but it's not. And as a regulator, I don't necessarily have to give you all of this, but because I'm a social worker and I understand the passion behind this, then I'm lending the time to vocalize as a chair. But I don't necessarily have to. I do it because that's who I am as a person. But I really want people to arm themselves, because if they knew that process, they would know, wait a minute, hold on. The board's working through all the channels that they can, and Louisiana is not behind the ball, because we actually have a remote supervision rule on the books. There are states that don't even have it on the books. And there are states that do have it on the books, but they have safeguarding and parameters. And I have information and data to support that. And that will be available at the supervision committee next week. And there it is. And that's just the reality. So we have more than just data from a certain section of licensees. We have data from other areas too. Jamie.
Yes, I just wanted to say that I'm happy you did take time to explain what is going on and what a process is, so the public can understand, that we all understand the importance of this, especially, as a BACS myself who has done supervision and will continue to do so, even though all my people finished right now. But I also wanted to point out, like when you made it a point to clarify that we are a board representing different levels of licensures, our board also was formatted with respect to the fact that our consumers have very important voices and they should have their voices are considered and heard. And they are no less than any other person on this board, and they do not deserve personal character attacks for doing what they think is best for social workers in this state. That is my opinion, and I wanted to say that clearly.
And so thank you for any other comments. Trinity, do you have anything you want to say to add to this?
I just want to thank you, and I just want to thank the board and the supervision committee for allowing the public to have a voice and for allowing them the opportunity to speak and have their voices heard. I just want the public to know that we hear you. We're listening to you. We are addressing your concerns, but there is a process that has to play out. So as a chair, thank you so much for all that you are doing. As the supervision committee meets, please inform them that I thank them because that, and the rules committee, that chair, he's doing a great job. I know he's not here with us today. I know he has taken a lot from the public. So I just want to thank Evan as well for all that he has endured from the public and all the questions that he has had to answer. So again, just thank you, and the public again, thank you so much for your questions. And that's what I had to say today.
Any other comments from the board regarding this matter? And I do want to take the time for us to review each correspondence. And so I will be calling for a review for each correspondence. If a board member feels they want to go into a deeper dive in the correspondence, we are certainly welcome to do just that. With that being said, we do have a correspondence from Gina Rossi requesting a rule change for virtual supervision. Is there any dialogue that we wish to have regarding this correspondence? And again, thank you, Ms. Rossi, for the work that that has been done. That's being attached to your request to the board.
What I just wanted to, what I would like to say regarding your comment and the work that Ms. Rossi put into it, just thank you, Ms. Rossi, for the research. It's impeccable research. Thank you for putting the time and skill and work. But as the chair stated, there are many other factors that we're looking at as well. But just thank you for the work that you put into your report. I really appreciate it.
I do want to say, agree with that as well. And I do know that you are not working independently. There are other people who are supporting the advocacy work, and that's what social workers do. I mean, we advocate for what we believe in. We provide support for what we believe in and what we think should happen. So I think the information that has been presented is very valuable to be able to make a decision. So I do want to thank you and everyone who is in support of the advocacy in any of the direction. That is what social workers do.
Any other comments pertaining to item 4H on the agenda?
No, but I did want to make one note if it's not improper.
Yes.
When I was chairing the meeting before your arrival, which that was my first time doing it if I'm not mistaken. So if so I don't want anyone to feel slighted by that, but there was a person that had a public comment and I did not note that that public comment was included in correspondence. I think I kind of skipped over that piece.
Oh, okay.
But it was related to this matter, so I just want to say that that is
okay.
included in
Okay,
correspondence.
thank
I just
you.
thought about it, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you for bringing that to attention. So again, so thank you for this correspondence.
Madam Chair, is there any action that we need to take on the correspondence, or we just move to take it as information?
Yeah, it's a correspondence.
Okay.
And so,
Okay,
I mean,
yeah, okay.
typically, you know,
So that's why we took all the public comments in the beginning, because there wasn't gonna be a vote.
and so, you know, at this time, and this is not a policy change.
Yeah.
I can't express that enough.
It's
It's not a policy change.
Yeah.
You know,
I just don't want to
and so-
think we overlooked it. I
Yeah,
just
we're not
wanna be
overlooking.
clear.
It's not a policy change. We are
It
working.
would have to go through rules. It
We're
would have to be
working on this
promulgated.
matter.
If there's nothing we can do.
We are working on this matter. We are working on this matter. Requesting continuing virtual supervision, Rachel Swafford has a request for virtual supervision. Submitting a letter in support of continuation of virtual supervision. So let the record reflect, there is a rule 503H for Louisiana that allows for remote supervision. There is a rule that allows for remote supervision. Now the rule states it's an extenuating circumstance. For Louisiana, so let's dispel another myth. Louisiana has rules on the books that speak to remote supervision. That's dispelling myth number one. Okay, so please don't think that we do not have space for remote supervision in our state. After doing the data and research, we do. Any other comments on this correspondence?
Just want to say I read it.
This is
It's
correspondence.
correspondence 2, it's page 18.
Yeah.
But thank you, Ms. Swafford, for your correspondence.
Thank you so
It
much,
was
Ms. Walker,
reviewed.
for your correspondence.
That's the only comment I have.
If you feel that you fit the criteria for 503H, submit your request to the board for consideration.
But she's
The
back,
rule-
so her.
The rule, I'm talking about LMSW, because the rule stands for LMSW, the supervisee. Submit your request to the board for consideration. We do have a rule on the books that allows the board to consider your individual circumstance. Correspondence on the agenda is Deborah Volker, requesting rules to change for virtual supervision.
So I reviewed the information submitted by Ms. Volker, and I thank her for her correspondence. But I think we've addressed this.
Yeah. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is correspondence from 4K Melissa Baker. Request to complete all CEs via distance learning for 2023 and 2024.
I'd like to make a motion to approve.
It's been moved by Candice to approve this request.
My second.
It's been seconded by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to this request on the agenda?
Jennifer Hannon has her hand raised.
Hi, Jennifer. You're being recognized.
Good morning. Yes, I didn't know if we were not having any public comment on the other motions before, or the other correspondence that came after Ms. Rossi's, but before this request.
I will call for an opportunity for public comment, Jennifer. I typically do that as chair. So I will call for public comment at some point again, okay?
Okay, thank you.
relevant to virtual supervision.
Which one she's talking about?
She's saying that, yeah, so we
did that earlier.
yeah.
There's no motion, we're not making, we
No,
don't
there's
action.
no motion, but I, as chair, I could call for public comment after I get through this. I can say, I'll call for public comment, but at this time, I haven't called for it. So Jennifer, I typically do that, so just hang on. All right, next item on the agenda is request. I want to get through some of this stuff. Melissa Baker request to complete CEs via distance learning. Motion was made by Candice to accept, seconded by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to that motion? There was none. Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, that motion has carried. Madison Lee Ingalls request to continue remote supervision.
So moved. To support that she continue. I don't know if y'all read it already. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
If people have read it, is there any dialogue regarding this? If not, we can entertain a motion.
I haven't finished reading it, so.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Distance related.
Okay.
Like I'm talking, he was ready.
It's the rain.
Let's go.
It actually cleared up, y'all.
I know.
Sun's starting to come out.
Okay, so this request is noting that it's in work/lives an hour and a half.
Yeah, 82.8 miles.
So 34.
In distance.
And speaking about the Zoom platform.
So we're looking at the 82 miles as the, okay.
I second that.
So a motion was made by, who made the motion? Melissa, it was seconded by
Trinity.
Trinity. Motion made to approve this request, seconded by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this motion on the floor regarding this? Yeah, motion on the floor. Ms. Engel's request. Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, we have a next item on the agenda by Jennifer Savage, requesting remote supervision for the month of December 2023. Okay.
Okay. So she's working in another state. Well, she's going to another state.
She's family reasons.
Yeah, that's fine, but I'm fine. Okay, so she's gonna be in another state. So I just wanna say this before I make a motion, that Ms. Savage wait, hold on.
She appears to be the supervisor.
She's the best.
She's the best. She's the supervisor.
So, as I understand wait, hold on, let me see, make sure I ain't missing nothing. Did we get any correspondence from
We didn't get any correspondence from the licensee, from the supervisee, but we received it from the backs, and it was due to a family personal matter, and she's there assisting.
So we would need to,
we need
to get the request, so 503H, for extenuating circumstances, the request must come from the supervisee. So please understand that the request has to come from the supervisee as the rules are indicated.
Yes. I have a question. Just because of the timeliness of this, the dates are before the next meeting, and it's 3 dates. Could we approve pending the supervisee sending the request, or is that not an option?
You could put forth whatever motion you would like and then ask the board to consider it. I can't tell you,
Well, no, I just didn't know if that's legal.
allowable, yeah.
I need to know if it's allowed.
You could, you
Well, I
could
don't want to put forward an illegal
forth,
motion.
you could put forward.
And die. Like, really tell me we could die.
I want to make sure it's within the law.
Well, so this is the thing. So one, I'm not an attorney. Two, your legal counsel is sitting there, and I'm not going on record to give any legal counsel to any social worker to be on Facebook.
Okay, well, then I'll put forth
legal
the
counsel.
motion and then we'll see what happens. I'd like to put forth a motion
That's what you do.
to approve this pending we get a, correspondence from the supervisee regarding this matter for those 3 specific dates.
I
Yeah,
am
well,
going
you say
to
through the month.
slowly off for a second to give a legal counsel time to finish looking at whatever she just pulled out.
Okay, so if you're asking, there's a motion on the floor made by Candice to, the motion has been made to approve the request pending getting the, request from the supervisee as, required by 503H. But Candice's motion is to approve it. However, we are being asked, that motion is still live, so it still would need a second. However, we've been asked for legal consultation on this matter to see if we could move forward with that before a second is being considered.
Yes.
Well, specifically says, excuse me, to receive approval, the supervisee should submit a request, but it says should, not must, submit a written request containing the specific details to the board, and the board shall consider the request at a regularly scheduled board meeting, which I think is the problem that Ms. Saraburi is trying to address, because of the timing in the request, and notify the supervisor of the decision within 30 business days. If approved, the supervisor and supervisee agree to use secure technology. So this is a request from the supervisor. It doesn't, it says should, so this is how you should ask for it. It does not, say that it has to be, in writing, but I think that having the condition that the supervisee agree with that method of supervision as well is, probably essential to the approval.
So so is it possible to amend the amendment, your motion to, or her motion to grant approval, pending, with the consent of the supervisee?
And adding not the dates requested, but through the month of December, just in case they have to change dates again.
Yes.
So what would need to happen is, because y'all are like, and comma, apostrophe, and da-da-da, okay, fine. Well, what has to happen is, Candice, you're giving consent to amend your motion, because you have 2 board members. Right, so now board members, tell her how you want to help her amend her motion.
That it be approved pending the support of the supervisee.
I approve that.
Okay, and so now what we need to do is restate your motion with the amendment. Okay, so when it's done, everybody, you're gonna have to restate the motion clearly so the public can hear and so we can document what the motion is. Go ahead.
Yes, the original motion was for the dates requested. I suggest changing it to through the month of December, just in case somebody gets sick and they've got to reschedule the dates.
Okay, so go ahead, Candy.
So I'd like to make a motion to approve this request pending the consent of the supervisee through the month of December.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by board. Any public comments pertaining to this motion? Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, super. All right.
Because these dates are fast approaching, do we need to inform the supervisee or supervisor that they need to get that?
Hopefully they're available on the meeting.
Oh, no, are they on the?
It is gonna require for us to notify the outcome of the correspondence.
If the person didn't approve, they wouldn't do it, right? I mean, we don't necessarily have to get something in writing. We assume if they do it, they approve.
You gotta get a correspondence.
Yeah, we gotta get something back to allow this to move forward based on Candice's motion.
Just the staff email the supervisee and supervisor and say to the supervisee, do you agree?
Gotcha.
And if they say yes, then it's done.
I think it would be best to have the supervisee to submit her request in writing to the staff and then have that as document. I don't think it should be a yes, no. I think it needs to have documentation from the supervisee as per 503H.
Emily, what would be the soonest that the staff can communicate to the persons involved with the board's decision? Monday? Okay.
Okay, there we go. So there it is, okay? All right, everyone. Next item on the agenda is 4N, Lee Vaughn requesting remote supervision. Let's see, wait, Lee Vaughn. Is there any conversation regarding this correspondence?
I have no problems with this. It looks like a distance request, distance related request.
Any, at this time, if there's no more discussion, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve it. Well, she said so.
So it's been moved by Trinity, seconded by Melissa. Any public comment pertaining to this motion?
No public comment.
Objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carried. Please know that when you do get the response from the board, it's going to indicate in the letter that it's for this existing contract, and it's going to indicate when your supervision, your remote supervision has been approved for. So we're assuming, we're making a lot of assumptions. We're assuming that you were engaging in in-person supervision, and you're asking to continue virtual supervision, or you're asking to engage in verbal supervision. Because as per the rule, face-to-face, in-person, physical started back September 1. So I'm just saying that.
The last one?
September 1
Okay,
of 2023. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so just letting y'all know that. So just be mindful about the education that's gonna come in your letter. Okay? All right. Next item on the agenda is Vanessa.
Correspondence 3.
Correspondence, is Vanessa Graves.
And 3.
Hold on one second, y'all.
Oh, just a Hershey.
Okay, hold on. All right, so this is an item on the agenda requesting remote supervision to be allowed to continue back supervision with Ms. Graves coming from the backs, okay?
It's co-signed by the elements.
Oh, I see that by Jordan Bolton.
So this one confused me.
Yes.
It looked like they had finished their hours and they're asking us if they can do more hours. Am I misreading this?
So I think, yeah, because
It seems like they did their hours, but they may have done them too quickly, because you only allowed so many hours within a time period or something. Like, so if you have 2 jobs, you may have gotten 3,000 hours.
you had to wait 2 years? I don't remember, is there,
I think.
let me go read the rule.
I think it was within 3 years or something. Within 3 years.
I don't think they have to do at least 3.
It may
I mean,
be
2.
for their, new state that they're also in too.
Yeah, it's in the Practice Act.
Then they have to do at least 2 years? Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it stops people from who want to work like 2 jobs, just trying to get their
Well,
hours.
that's one of the changes, huh?
Mhm.
Is it a change?
It was, yeah, that was
Yeah.
effective January 1st of 22.
Okay, that's why, okay, yeah.
Okay, also,
So
yeah.
what are they asking?
So they need to finish, they still need to meet through the month of December to finish the 2 years.
Time
The
requirement.
part that I am a little confused about is this person is in Missouri. And so the supervisor is saying she's not licensed in Missouri. So the Missouri entity will be issuing a back supervisor for
her.
Ms. Bolton. But so Ms. Bolton is asking us if she can do virtual supervision with the supervisor in Missouri?
No, she's asking, can she do it so she can finish her Louisiana license?
With a Missouri supervisor.
The Missouri Division of Professional Regulation will also be issuing
She's
a
also
back
gonna get the back
supervisor.
supervisor for her Missouri license.
It's just confusing.
Is she on the call?
So
That's what I'm
hold on
reading.
one
We're
second.
requesting
No,
that she
because
continue.
you're not gonna make it into
Yeah,
a
this is
compliance
convoluted.
hearing.
No, when you read the first thing,
They come back in and they say what they need to say. We're
the
not
first
gonna turn up.
sentence explains what they're requesting. And then they gave you some information that you might include or discard, but the first
So
sentence.
my question is that I have about this, Jordan Bolton is now in Missouri, correct?
Yes.
Jordan Bolton is asking, well, no, her bags and her asking for a Louisiana bag supervisor to supervise her while she's residing in Missouri.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. Okay, first of all, I'm not sure if the state of Louisiana can authorize a Louisiana BACS to supervise a social worker that is living in Missouri.
Yeah.
That may be outside. I need legal counsel to look at that because.
Because it's about military.
It would depend on her job. What if she's working here?
So Sherry, can you add some?
Depends upon what her clients are. Is she practicing under her Louisiana
Mhm.
license and providing social work services in Louisiana? But if she's providing social work services in Missouri or some other state, then
Our board don't have any jurisdiction. And see, that's the issue that becomes, right? So if she's in Missouri, she's working as a social worker in Missouri, she is governed by Missouri. She's not.
She's a remote unless
She's seeing clients in Louisiana and she's licensed in Louisiana and she's seeing clients in Louisiana. Our jurisdiction ends at our state borders. We're not an interstate compact yet, okay? So if this licensee is in Missouri, lives, works, sees clients in Missouri, really, then we cannot provide authority to that. That's Missouri's
Right.
board.
And so we don't know.
So the option that we have, it sounds like we need more information. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
I don't have enough information to move forward. That's what I'm thinking. And if y'all don't know, it's whatever you agree, but it don't seem like we have enough information to make an informed decision.
I am prepared to put forth a motion with stipulations, just for the sake of time.
I'd like to hear.
I don't mind.
You could do whatever, right?
And if no one seconded, it'll die, that's fine.
Right.
So, I would like to move that the request for virtual supervision be approved as under the condition that Ms. Bolton is using her Louisiana license and providing services to persons in Louisiana through December 2023. What?
Now, is that with a backs from?
She already has, is the banks identified in a letter?
No, but is that backs from Louisiana backs?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think he's asking that because you may want to put that in your,
Yeah, is that it's,
you want
yeah, you need to
motion.
go ahead and, place that in your motion.
Okay, so I will restate. I would like to move that Ms. Bolton, request for, virtual supervision with her Bax Vanessa Graves be approved through whatever time frame they need to complete supervision, as long as she is working with Louisiana clients, while she's in Missouri.
I like the way she said it before.
request.
I like it
December.
Wait.
No, I like
It doesn't, it's the same.
Yeah, not.
Wait, hold on one second. I'm hearing what Jamie is saying, but then I'm also hearing what you're saying, Sherry.
The request is only for remote supervision until December
But it can be approved through January too, right? Like, what would be the harm in it?
Well,
Because
I
she
would, well, we
specifically
only,
requested.
well, we approve what's, you can't, you don't want.
Yeah, just till
only what's
December.
in front of you, Jamie, like whatever they're requesting for.
We've done that before, but that's fine. We have had people say, give me, for instance, 2 months to pay this, and we say, well, let's give them 6. You know, like, no, but that's fine. We can leave it in December. I'm not.
So Jamie,
And it-
that wasn't my, I'm sorry.
I hear you, and
I was gonna say, my point was that she's using her, you said working with Louisiana clients the second time, but the first time you said that she's using her Louisiana license. And I preferred that one.
Oh, my, okay.
It's practice.
You better
This is
Yeah,
getting.
the way you said it the first time was practicing under her Louisiana license. Cause what if she's practicing under her Louisiana license, but not saying Louisiana clients?
Well, then it won't work, cause she said in her motion that she had to be seen with
Louisiana,
say Louisiana.
That's why I stopped her. I said the first time she didn't say that, the second time she did, to ask her which one.
She has to be under the jurisdiction of the board.
But-
So that would be practicing under the Louisiana Practice Act.
Right, using your license, but that doesn't mean you have to be seeing Louisiana clients.
Well, she does, and if that's what the motion is, that, from my understanding is
We would
that we
assume
can't
that she
approve,
is, but-
we cannot approve a Louisiana licensee to see clients in Missouri.
No, I'm not talking about in Missouri. A lot of times when you work virtual positions, like at insurance companies, I'm only using my Louisiana license, but I'm seeing the whole East Coast because a lot of them have open states and they're not closed and they don't require me to have a license to do that position. And I'm using my Louisiana license. So that's how,
Off the record, we shouldn't be saying that, because we should not, we don't.
that is the reality of
Well, let's
employment.
But we.
let's point of order, yeah, because
We
we're
don't,
gonna.
point of order, thank you, Jamie,
Yeah.
point of order, we are not going to do that. Point of order,
Okay.
Jamie, go back to what is your motion that you have on the floor, and take your time to frame it in the way you want it to be heard.
Okay.
I'm confused.
I feel like I'm about to say the same thing for the 3rd time,
That's
so,
okay.
but I will
We
do it.
needed to stay
Okay.
for the record.
So, you don't even know what you're about to
Yeah,
say.
I know what she about to say. She said it twice.
Let her say.
So I would like to make a motion for Ms. Bolton to be approved to have remote supervision with Vanessa Graves while Ms. Bolton is in Missouri, but using her Louisiana license to provide social work services to persons in the state of Louisiana under the Louisiana Practice Act.
Got better.
That's better.
I second
That's
it.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah, they could.
thank you. For
Okay,
helping me be my best self.
Y'all got it?
Yes,
All right, and that is in accordance, thank you, Dr. Barney, with our practice act.
yes.
Thank you, Dr. Barney. Any, public comment to the motion? Any objections or abstentions to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is a correspondence from Diana Vaughn. I'm sorry, from Catherine Barwell requesting remote supervision. All right, any comments pertaining to this correspondence?
No, I appreciate the communication from both the bank and the LMSW.
The details they provide.
Yes.
It was a really
clean.
detailed, clean
Mhm.
request.
Request.
Any, comments pertaining to, or any motions at this time pertaining to this
I
request?
move to approve.
Second.
Moved by Board to approve, second by Trinity, public comment. Objections or abstentions? I have to go back. Oh my goodness, hearing none, motion carries to approve. Next item on the agenda is a request for virtual supervision from Ms. Della Foss. Looks like we have some dialogue from our staff. Okay, yeah, I got it. Do we have the person supervisor? Oh, yeah, I see the supervisor's name.
So this one is a hardship request?
Yeah,
What's the hardship?
it's just that she's a single mom of four. She works from 7 A to 7 P. She has, she's doing this 4 days out of the week. And basically that's what it is. It's basically too demanding. She's unable to commute. I don't see anything from the supervisor, but it's, from the LCSW backs, but it's, that's what I'm getting from this. And she's describing the platform. She's just using Microsoft Teams. It's just what she said the supervisor was using. But I have nothing from the LCSW backs to support it. Yeah, there's nothing from the LCSW backs. That's what I would have liked to see, something from the backs supporting it.
It's not required.
It's not required, but I just like seeing it. And some more description about the platform.
Teams?
I know about Microsoft Teams though.
So what
I
more?
know, but just like, you know how they usually go into detail.
You would
like
understand
this.
all the technical jargon?
I don't know, but I just love seeing it. You know how they come up with the.
So at this time, do we have a motion or?
Yeah, I
Or is there more
dialogue? I move to approve.
Okay, so it's been moved by board to approve. It's been seconded by Candice. Any public comment pertaining to this motion?
No.
All right, hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request from Joanna Haynes to accept supervision completed prior to submitting a contract. So for clarification, I know as we are reading this, so when we start talking about what the board has to address and deal with from licensees and their concerns as it relates to their supervision relationship. And I say this in very gingerly, kindly, very gingerly and very kindly. We have a licensee submitting a concern to the board, a plea for the board to help them because their supervision relationship was not in a manner in which it was supportive in what they needed. Hence, the supervision contract was not submitted within 60 days by the supervisor. This is what I'm seeing in the very first paragraph. This is the licensee asking the board to approve her supervision time because her supervision contract was not submitted timely within 60 days.
Much longer than 60.
Much longer than 60 days. This is not a reflection of every single VAC supervisor. Of course it's not, we know that. But this is what I'm talking about when I have to be cautious and be mindful of the board. We are a board for all licensees.
When I see stuff like this, I wonder where they got their back supervision from and what was covered in that supervision workshop.
I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
Yeah.
Extremely disappointing, that a VAX would not know that a contract was needed.
So what happens to us as a board, we have to look at the rules, because that's what we have as a regulating body, and we have to go by what's in the rules. And what we've done in the past when we've gotten requests such as this. What have we done as a board in the past to address matters like this, and what does the rules allow for us to do?
Okay, this is what I'm trying to.
They submitted a paper contract after, is that, the paper I'm looking at is
More
what
than
they-
a year and a half after they started supervision.
Okay.
So the person is noting that during the first meeting, she sent the invitation and me, and that was accepted. So when did that happen?
It has to be for
So Dr. Barney, our option is to always, we can deny an offer compliance hearing to allow both.
Because we don't have that
parties to
information.
explain. Yeah.
Okay.
If we dissect it, then we can't turn it into a
Right.
hearing.
Well, I was trying to stay in line with what we did, because if there were issues related to serotomy, those were definitely considered during the initial request, but since we do not have that information,
But it starts with, they didn't do a contract. They didn't know about a contract for a year and a half, basically. So if you guys are ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. You can.
I move to deny and offer a compliance hearing.
There's a motion on the floor made to deny and offer a compliance hearing. Is there a second? Second by Candice. Any public comment pertaining to the motion on the floor?
Yes.
Public comment, you're being recognized.
Jennifer Hannon.
Hi, Jennifer, you're being recognized.
Hi, yes, thank you. Yes, I think it's, I think certainly I was gonna say you guys do need more information, I think, before you can make a decision, and of course, I'll weigh in, having been a supervisee and a supervisor, that it's incumbent upon both parties to be aware of what is required in a supervision contract and what steps need to be done.
Thank you, Jennifer. Any other public comments pertaining to this motion?
Nita Balcom.
Hi, Nita, you're being recognized.
Hi, thank you for accepting my request. My thought is, although I can totally appreciate the need for additional information in terms of specific timelines, I do think that CERTME, we're all aware of the difficulties that CERTME created. And I do also think that on some level, holding the LMSW accountable for the back supervisor's omission is problematic.
Thank you, Nita, for your comment. Any other comments pertaining to this motion on the floor?
Madam Chair, can I make a comment?
Yeah.
I just wanna, because I had not read the complete document, I just wanna say for the record that after further review, the issue was not related to CERTME for the reason the contract was not done within 60 days. Okay. That's it.
All right. Any other comments pertaining to this motion on the floor? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carried. All right, y'all, I need like 2 minutes, just like I gotta cast my eyes at something real quick, make a notation. All right, next item on the agenda is a correspondence from Elizabeth Ma. Regarding supervision completed prior to submitting a contract.
So the contract portion was completed, the employment verification portion wasn't completed. So that's done by the employer.
We do see, I just hate that people send I just hope the person's social is blocked out. I just, it's like please, public, when y'all send personal stuff, like your W-2 statements, please know that's being placed public, like the entire state, the whole world can see all what you made, your salary, all of that is now public record. So if you send something like that, be mindful that all that's being made public. And I was concerned that someone's social wasn't being made public. Yeah, the W-2 exits out, but all the personal information is just.
So we are looking at the Beacon employment from July 2022 to October
of 2023.
Of 2023, okay.
Yep, that's the window of time that this individual was employed, and she's asking for approval because she was employed. And apparently the verification wasn't done, but the individual submitted the W-2 to show that she was employed during that time.
We'll just add that
Yes.
This W-2 was not part of the scans that we made.
Oh, thank God. Thank you for saying that. Because I wasn't thank you.
That wasn't made public, okay.
Thank you, Emily. That helped decrease a lot of anxiety.
No, that's not me.
Oh, thank you, Regina. If you're listening, thank you.
We're still reading, but when you're ready,
Oh, you can, yeah.
I'd like to make a motion to approve because this is not the banks or the social worker who is responsible for the human resources.
Okay, so no worries. You have a motion on the floor to approve the request. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Bora. Is there any public comment pertaining to this motion? Yes, public comment. Can you state your name for the record?
I'm Elizabeth.
Elizabeth, last name? Elizabeth. Oh, hey, Elizabeth. All right, Elizabeth, you want to make it even though it's in the process of approval? I'm just saying.
She can go in your
Do what
way.
you want. Go ahead.
No,
It's up to you. At any time, public.
I was just saying the acknowledgement was done, some of it was done.
All right,
The whole
Elizabeth.
thing wasn't done.
All right, Elizabeth, and thank you for being here in person too. You're Elizabeth. You're Elizabeth.
I'm sorry, what did you say? The what?
For the acknowledgement one.
Part of it was done.
It was HR.
It was HR.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
We acknowledge that.
Absolutely. The motion on the floor is to approve the request made by
I
Candice.
appreciate, no, because I was wondering it, so I appreciate you saying it, because I was thinking about objecting.
Okay.
I'm sorry. So if I'm not, again, like, thank you, okay.
Thank you. All right, motion on the floor by Candice to approve. Who seconded that
I
motion?
did. I seconded
Bora
that.
seconded. Public comment was made by Elizabeth Ma to state for the record that there was information provided to the board to show that some of the employment verification was present. Is there an objection or abstention to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay. All right, next item on the agenda is a request for Olivia Manthing to accept supervision prior to contract. Let's look at that one. Okay.
That's your part.
All right.
What happened? This fine. Okay.
Yeah, this was the one where, I had to read this multiple times previously, and it seems like emails crossed between the supervisor and the supervisee with the comment blocked. And, they didn't realize it till much later. And then they showed evidence of the copies of the emails where they had crossed, they were using.
So it's a lot of back and forth, confusing, questions, answers, emails. I'm just very cautious of making a rushed to judgment decision on this. I'm just cautious for so many reasons. There's a sign, we have an email that says it's somewhere, and then it's somewhere else, and then it's just hard to dissect it for me. But, again,
I do have a question. Do you have a copy of the contract? Yes, well, that's what I was wondering. I don't see it. I see emails, but I don't see an actual, because this is at the point where we're doing paper contracts. That have been mailed to the board. And they're not saying who they thought mailed it.
To your point, there still is no contract.
I don't see the contract. I see an email with an attachment.
Yeah, I see the attachments and it
But I
says.
don't see the actual contract to prove that there is an actual contract signed.
Agreed. So does the board have it? Do we have it?
It said it was attached.
It says
I see embedded attachments, but I don't know if we actually got it.
It said it's attached in their email.
That's attachments in their email. That's not an
Oh,
email.
not our email. Okay.
Yeah, that's not the email.
So,
Tina said we have it now.
okay,
Do
good.
you wanna know when we received it?
Sure.
If
the board wants to have that.
But this is from October 20.
Like the supervisor signed one, sent it over, the supervisee signed one, sent it over, but they didn't.
Do we have both? That's what I'm wondering.
We can, if we have the contract, absolutely, we can, if the board's pleasure is waiting for,
Yes.
on that, we can do that. No problem.
Wanna take a little break?
Yeah, we can.
Thank you.
It'll be one of those, I ain't gonna turn off the thing if you need to go take a little break. It seems like it's just 11, but it feels later than.
It's the rain.
The weather made it seem like it was so hard to get here, yeah.
I think that's what
They're like,
the sun come out.
You taking them, people
Okay, so
taking one
we're
at a
gonna
time.
take
So what we'll do,
So guess what?
we're still online, y'all. We are not, we haven't taken an official break. We're still going on. We're waiting for the contract. What we're doing now is allowing people to stretch and stuff. But we still live.
It's uploaded,
She could mute it, Emily could.
it was up,
Go ahead,
we
Emily.
received it in, October,
Okay.
and it's signed,
October what year?
we received it October of 23,
Oh,
and it was signed for October 19th, 2020.
by who?
Well, this page is signed by Twyla Winters.
The way I read it was one of them signed one and the other one signed the other, and they sent it to each
Yeah.
other, but they missed them and they assumed the other one had it and submitted it. That's what they're trying to say. And
So we do have some, thank you, tell Regina, thank you so much for looking up that information. Board, we do have, she is, we have options.
So the first page of the supervision contract requests the first supervisory session to be printed on the document, and that was left blank. But it was signed, like I said, October 19th, 2020.
By everyone?
By Twyla and the agency supervisor.
We had to win the backside.
The backs is Twyla. What about the supervisee? Did they sign?
Yeah, you got one of the supervisor.
Oh, we don't even have a sign. Right now.
I don't see.
This one signed.
And then the first supervisory session was left blank?
Yes.
Okay, well.
And we can
request
compliance. Yeah, you can deny a request compliance hearing. I mean, they have every right to come and produce their information.
so y'all ready for a motion?
Yes.
I'd like to move that we deny and they can request a compliance hearing.
So there's a motion on the floor made by board to deny and offer a compliance hearing.
Second.
Is there a second? Second by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to this particular item on the agenda, this motion?
I lost my list.
Oh, okay, take your time on that.
When I clicked over to start
It went out. This is Olivia.
No, I'm trying to get back to the list of, yes.
Oh, okay, take your time on that.
I'm gonna find it.
You have a hand raised.
I know. I saw it before I flipped over to certain. Here we go. I got it back. Thanks for your patience. Let's see. There's a hand raised. Whose hand is it? Twyla Winters.
Yes, Twyla. Yes, Twyla. We're at the point where we are at public comment. You're being recognized.
Hey, good morning. Thank you, everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Ma'am, yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Thank you. Yes, my name is Twyla, and I am the BACS that provided the supervision. I see that there is definitely a lot of back and forth, as you said. But I do want to say that the supervision contract was signed on October 19th. I did send it to Olivia, Ms. Mancine at that time. And she acknowledged it on the 20th. And in January, yes, we went, through it again. Ms. DeWitt also, what was it? On August 18th of this year, got in touch with me about it. And I think that that's why it, maybe how it was sent, it wasn't seen right away. I'm not sure what happened, but I do want to say that I did send it and sign it on October the 19th. It was at 7:43 p.m., but that was in 2020. And yes, I did instruct her, hey, she needed to send it to the board as soon as possible and how to send it. And I do go through that in, verbally as well, especially when we were doing paper contracts at that time, because, mail, I think within 60 days. So I absolutely did state that to her, just want to make that clear. So I'm not really sure what happened through it all, but at that time I did, like I said,
Thank you, Ms. Winters, for your public comment.
I'm sorry.
We're at the 2-minute mark.
Yes.
Pertaining to this motion?
She keeps, Ms. Winters,
yes.
Sent it. Are you saying you sent it to the lady?
I can't permit you to do that because it will turn into a hearing.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I can't permit you to do that because it'll turn into a hearing. The motion is on the floor to deny and offer a compliance hearing, which the compliance hearing will give Ms. Twyla and the licensee the opportunity to produce any other information that they need to support their request and give you more opportunity to, if you serve on that hearing panel, to do what you need to do, you're digging, right? So, with that being said, we have passed that 2-minute mark for Ms. Twyla. Are there any other public comments pertaining to this motion? Okay, any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay.
I was
Yes, ma'am.
messing with this
Oh.
and I didn't hear who was the first and who was the second.
Candice was the initiating.
I was.
Wait, on board,
I was there.
motioned to deny. Candice, did you second it,
Jamie
Candice? Oh,
seconded.
Jamie seconded. Okay,
I was like,
sorry.
wait, I think I
That's
was
all right,
present.
sorry. Jamie second. Okay. Sorry about that. Thank y'all for the clarification. All right. Next item on the agenda is a request to accept supervision completed submitting a contract from Destiny Nash. Okay.
So this is very unfortunate. Because it appears this person, has been undergoing supervision since December 2022 and was getting prepared to test, but they state that they spoke to someone on the phone, they don't have any specifics, and was told they didn't need to complete a contract until they finished supervision. Which is erroneous.
And the supervisor should have known this because the supervisor went to VAX training.
Correct. So if, I don't know if anyone had, I don't want to motion too fast if anyone has any discussion.
I have nothing because it's cut and dry.
Who's the next? Do we know?
Marsha Booker.
Marsha Booker.
Marsha Booker.
Or Marcia.
I just want to state, kind of, which has been said before, I think it is unfortunate that the LMSWs do suffer the consequences of the BAC's oversight.
So I would like to make a motion to deny the request.
Second.
There's a motion on the floor to deny and offer compliance hearing. Is there a second?
I second it.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment? Any objections or abstentions?
She said, well, she said, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, y'all. I was like, what is it? Yes, what is she thinking? Like, what's going on?
It's the weather.
Yes, there's public comment on this motion.
Unless somebody didn't. We're there, Hannah.
I see Gina Ross. Who is that next to Gina Rossi on that screen?
Jennifer Hannon.
Jennifer.
Is that Jennifer?
Yeah, her hand is raised.
I
Jennifer.
see a hand. I don't know if it's supposed to be up.
Her hand wasn't up.
Oh, here we go.
earlier,
I'm
so-
sorry. I couldn't find it in the list. All right, yeah, so Jennifer Hannon.
Jennifer, you being recognized. We're at public comment in the motion.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I just wanted to comment again, I agree that when a supervisee is doing everything they can and not getting what they need from a supervisor, that's problematic. In this case, and in some other cases we've heard, there's concern that the supervisee is not educating themselves about what's required for supervision, and that's concerning. Again, it's incumbent upon both the supervisee and the supervisor to know what's required as far as a supervision agreement. And that's my comment. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer, for your comment. Any other comments pertaining to this item, this motion that's active?
Yes.
Any objections or abstentions? All right, hearing none, motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is a request from Carolyn Wegener to accept supervision prior to submitting a contract. Caroline Wegener, sorry about that, Caroline. I hope I'm saying that correct. Is the LMSW. The supervisor is Tyshika Lofton.
So this is regarding three different.
Says, when I started supervision, I was unaware that a supervision contract needed to be completed within 60 days of start of the supervision.
Yeah. And so it sounds like it's three different three different contracts that are, well, it looked like the last one is. Oh, the last one started late, so.
Yeah, it's all three.
Okay. Oh, boy.
So we have a letter from the supervisor saying, writing to verify that the licensee attended all sessions documented and inserted to me and completed a total of 59 hours. She's having it. So, okay, where's the contract? Wait, do we have it?
They have them now.
Yeah, it's noted that they have been put in now, but they were added into Certamy
At the end of October.
But it's not, there isn't any indication that there was an attempt to do it and there was an issue with Certamy. They just did not know they needed contracts.
Okay, so is this similar to, not to really compare, but is this the same matter, not receiving the supervision contract within the 60 days as required by the rule?
Yes.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that.
Their claim is they didn't know about it.
And so I just want to make sure that, that we are aligned with the rule, right? Mm-hmm. So the rule says that the contract needs to be submitted to the board within 60 days. In this instance, it has been determined that has not been the case.
Yes.
And so now we're at the point where we need to entertain a motion regarding this matter.
I'd like to make a motion to deny and offer a compliance hearing so that they can have an opportunity to come and explain to the board the situation that occurred.
So the motion is made, and we have, licensee and supervisor information. Licensee, Ms. Wegener, supervisors, Tyshika Lofton. Mm-hmm. Okay. So deny and offer a compliance hearing. Mm-hmm. Motion on the floor by Trinity. Mm-hmm. What's the second? Second by Jamie. Any public comment pertaining to this motion that's on the floor right now? The live motion. Tyshika Lofton, back supervisor, you're being recognized.
Good morning. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I wanted to give, a little more context. I don't think Caroline actually explained as in depth as she could have. So she was amongst the first 2 or 3 supervisees that I began to take under the Certamy software. And so I wouldn't say she wasn't aware that a contract was needed, more so than I would say that we both were trying to learn how that process worked. And so in my acceptance of her in Certamy, I was under the assumption that was the contract that I accepted and began notating her notes in. And because I was able to continue to do her notes pertaining to her supervision, I didn't connect the dots that wasn't a contract. So in addition to her learning and not fully understanding Certamy, so I wanted to just give a little more context around that it was really not having a clear understanding of the steps to take within Certamy, so to speak, more than anything, because that's how we even discovered this situation, was that I advised her again when she moved to a new job that you have to complete a new contract within 60 days. Hence how she even discovered that there wasn't a contract per se in a Certamy system.
You're at the 2-minute mark. I apologize for that. For public comment. Thank you for your public comment. Is there any other comments pertaining to this motion at this time?
Gina Rossi.
Hi, Gina. You're being recognized.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. You may not remember, but when Certamy first came on, we recognized that people were not understanding whether they were completing the contract or not. And at that time, we said, these things, these instances, these issues are not going to come up until the end. And we're going to see these problems later. And we think that just because time has passed, that, you know, this is when we're going to find these. We're going to find them later on. And we said at that time, and at that time, the board acknowledged that they would remember as time passed that at the very beginning, there was a lot of confusion. Rather than just to say a broad paint stroke that backs are not doing their jobs.
Thank you, Ms. Rossi, for your comment. Any other comments pertaining to this motion on the floor?
About public?
Any other public comment? All right. Hearing no other public comments, any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor?
I object. And the reason is because now that I've heard the supervisor say it was a certimy issue, which was not clear in the correspondence that we received, I would just like to say that I object to the motion.
Okay, we have an objection on the floor made by Bora. Once we have an objection, we need to do a roll call. So when we do the roll call will be or to deny and offer compliance hearing. So if you're voting yes, you are agreeing to deny and offer the compliance hearing.
Yes, you're ready to agree.
Yeah, yes, that you're agreeing with that motion.
Okay.
That you're agreeing with the motion.
The motion is on the floor.
Yeah, I said that right, yep. So if you vote yes, you are in agreement with the motion on the floor to deny and offer compliance hearing. If you vote no, then, what no means, right? So at this time, we're gonna get Bora to call for a roll.
Do you vote?
No, not yet. Everybody else, and then I'll jump in.
Jamie Barney?
Yes.
Melissa Haley?
No.
Andy Saraparu?
Yes.
Evan Bergeron's not here. Trinity George?
Yes.
Boris and Sari? No. So 3 are yeses and 2 are no's.
So the motion carries to deny and offer compliance hearing.
Can I make one?
Yes.
Madam Chair?
Yes.
I just want to note that I did hear the comments, and so I understand the reason Bora objected, but on the correspondence we received, the supervisee specifically states, I was unaware that a supervision contract needed to be completed within 60 days. She did not indicate any issue with her. So what she provided in her letter contradicts the fact that it was a certimy concern. She says specifically she did not know. So that is why I objected. And I just want to say that because I want the public to know that we are being consistent with what we said before in, giving consideration for certimy issues, and we have done it.
So I'd like to make
Okay.
why I objected.
All right, so
I objected because the supervisor explained, but I also, when I look at the supervisor's correspondence, she says that she attended all sessions documented and certified and completed. So I think that, for me, it was more of a miscommunication in writing, but I respect the vote and I accept the vote. And I think that offering a compliance hearing will give them the opportunity to explain it a little bit more in depth. I see this one a little differently than the people that say, we didn't know we had to do a contract.
Okay, so where we are now, y'all, is, and I'm allowing comments, but I want to caution the board that we are getting into compliance hearing territory. And we cannot do that, right?
Okay,
and so I appreciate, I know I'll try to pause you when I think, it's getting kind of a little hairy. Melissa.
I guess my question is, I don't have enough history. So, is there the comment that was made, is there a time frame, like when CERTA started, which I don't know. I don't know if it started October 21, October 32. I don't know. I know it wasn't 32. I meant 22. I know it wasn't 32.
Emily right there.
I do, but I'm just saying that would help to put some of that in perspective to me, because, you know, if somebody started their contract in 20 versus somebody starting in 23, it would matter. And I do think the history is important. And I guess for me, I'm so about prevention, you know, like if there's anything that could be done, and I can't even, what could be done maybe in the new system that could prevent this consistent trend? Because we don't want anybody, you know, wasting time and money and energy and all of that. But if there is anything that could be done, but to prevent this.
Everything will be done for the new system.
Yes.
So, yeah, and so there's a couple of things with that, and I'm gonna be real brief. So it's not just, yes, the new system, but it's the whole entire way of doing things, right? And it's taking piece by piece to revisit it, to look at it, to review it, and to try to put all these pieces together. So having it corrected and asserted me is one piece of what we are trying to tackle, right? And so, the motion is to deny and offer a compliance hearing, and that information will be submitted in writing. With that being said, let's see, y'all, the next item on the agenda is a request from Jamisha Williams to request supervision prior to the contract.
I think some of the dates are off, as you're reading it. I don't wanna assume the dates, but I just assume that.
I did notice that. I do see some of the dates in the request are off. Particularly in that second paragraph, I believe right after Brightside Clinic, the dates are not clear. And so.
I think though at the end, they have a breakdown of dates that are probably corrected. I think the last page.
Okay, I think. Okay,
So
this is, okay.
For this one, they did the acknowledgement structure piece, signed off on it. The employment verification part is what's missing.
There is a contract, though, you said.
So there's two pieces. The part that the supervisor and the supervisee
that part is done.
fill out, and then there's that piece that the agency person fills out.
Nice.
Are they able to work in Colorado while working towards supervision in Louisiana?
That's another question that's not answered really by the correspondence. That's what I was looking for more information. But I don't know where.
So, if they were
just because the social worker is in Colorado doesn't mean that she's practicing in Colorado or under Colorado.
She says completing contracts from Colorado Mental Health Hospital in Pueblo,
So
It doesn't sound, it doesn't seem like it was virtual
Yeah, it
employment.
seemed like it's in
Right.
person.
Yeah.
I was employed with the staffing and I
So
worked
what I'm
with
trying,
Pueblo.
I wanna make sure, that's not allowable to use those hours towards, or is it?
my understanding is that the supervision would have to be under your Louisiana license. If you're in Colorado working at a hospital,
When
an
you
in-person
travel.
job, you would be working under a Colorado license.
When
not
you
your
travel,
Louisiana.
you work under your Louisiana license. You don't get another license. That's how travel social work works. That's how travel nursing. You don't get another license.
Now, in the last paragraph, it states that I'm currently employed at Tulane Medical Center.
Yeah, but I'm talking about when you do travel assignments,
Right.
they send you to states that offer like a reciprocity with your
Right.
Louisiana license. They don't give you a new license, because
Right.
you would have to get licensed in these states.
That's information that should be included, that Colorado, that.
Right, so a couple of things
Yeah,
here.
it just
One, we
requires-
don't have a lot, so one, we don't have a lot of information. Two, one, we don't have a lot of information, that's one. One, the dates are, I'm confused about the dates in the second paragraph.
Mhm.
So I don't wanna make I don't want to make an uninformed decision on people's
Right.
livelihood and profession. I just don't wanna do it. Number three, when I'm hearing the board have all these questions that they can't seem to navigate within the 5 to 7 minutes that we allotted to do this, in fairness to individuals to be able for them to produce more information to substantiate their request, we have other options. See, that's my concern too. Number three, practicing in another state, Louisiana does not have any jurisdiction over Colorado. Period, point blank, the end. There's no rule that allows us to say that we can supervise Colorado social workers. We don't have it. The interstate compact is in discussion, and I don't know if Colorado is one of the states that signed on to it. That's just point blank. So we do not have jurisdiction to govern a social worker that's practicing in Colorado, whether you are a travel social worker or not. We don't have that. And so
Your supervision should be of
of
Louisiana.
Louisiana practice.
It's
And we hear in our legal counsel, she said that on 2 other occasions, Louisiana practice, that's what we govern. We don't govern Colorado practice. So with that being said, is there any other discussion regarding this correspondence? If not, we are making a motion. Once we call a motion, I'll let public come in.
So one more question that I jotted down in my notes is, it looked like she was getting supervision while she was unemployed. Is that allowed? I thought you had-
She said
She said that she wasn't.
she was not participating
stopped
in
when she wasn't
supervision
employed.
during that period.
She started on January 9th.
There was a note, let me find it.
It says upon being laid off, I was unemployed for 6 weeks, and it has the dates in which Monique and I were not participating.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they resumed after she
Yes.
was reemployed.
Then she began a travel contract at Colorado Mental Health.
I can't find it again, but I'm gonna read what she said.
I must have missed that.
It's on the first page. There's like
Yes,
2
yeah.
bullet points, and it's right after.
We resumed our supervision sessions on January 9th.
Didn't I tell y'all that? I said January 9th.
Yeah, that's
I don't know why they're, I don't know why.
I found it.
She needs to see it.
So where are we
Well,
with
we
this?
always deny and offer a compliance hearing because, as I stated back in the 3rd paragraph, it appears that she's on a contract right now with Tulane Medical Center. So she's.
So where are we at a point where we,
Are you motioning?
yeah, I mean, are we, I will
I'll
entertain
make
a
a
motion if
motion
anybody
to-
wants to make.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to deny and offer Miss Williams a compliance hearing so she can come in and explain to us the circumstances revolving her situation.
There's a motion made on the floor by Trinity to deny and offer compliance hearing. Is there a second? Second by Candice. Public comment. Yes, public, yes.
I'm Monique Carter, so I was the BACS for Jamesia.
Say your name.
Monique Carter.
Monique Carter,
Yes.
thank you.
So I was the LCSW BACS for Jamesia when she was in Colorado. She wasn't operating in a clinical capacity. Her job was like a case management job. So she didn't need to get a license in Colorado, but we were doing virtual supervision during the time because the board was allowing virtual supervision during that time.
Thank you so much for your comment.
Sure.
Is there any other comments pertaining to this motion?
Jamesia has her hand raised.
Jamesia, you're being recognized.
if you want.
Okay. All right, Jamesia, you're being recognized.
That hand was lowered.
All right. Any objections or abstentions to the motion on the floor? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, so I have been getting eye winks and leans. People are asking for a little break. Actually, we could probably go to lunch. I think.
I'm open to finishing correspondence if you know.
We can finish correspondence. Are y'all okay?
Towards the end, yeah.
Yeah, I would like to move through it, but
Yeah.
I'm getting like nonverbal communication and a social worker that people need breaks. Okay, so, all right, if that's the case, we will keep going.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. Jamise, did she put her hand back up? I think there was probably an error, but we probably passed it.
Where the motion's gone.
Oh, okay.
It's gone.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is Jordan Schaefer. A request for the board to accept supervision completed prior to supervision of contract Jordan Schaefer. Wait, hold on, I need to get into another correspondent. I think that's
the
four.
fourth one.
That's four.
Okay. I need to just start going to the cheat sheet at the bottom. That would help me.
Oh.
And then get back.
What? We on short.
All right, so we are on the
Correspondence for
Jordan Schaefer.
Mm-hmm. You like it better.
Just.
No. You say I'm all the way in.
Okay, so it looks like with this one from Jordan Schaefer, they changed employment in August of 2022 and submitted the contract for the second place of employment in November of 2023. So we would be looking at the hours. Oh, wait, okay, well, we'd be looking at the hours from August 2022 to November 2023. And there's a caveat that this person tested early and has already passed the LCSW clinical examination. Okay.
This is for the employer contract.
Mm-hmm.
This is an employment verification.
Oh, no, I think it's the contract because they got a new place of employment.
Oh,
so they
I
didn't
see
get
that.
another
They were
contract.
working at Jefferson Parish School System. Okay.
It's like 35 hours.
Okay. Any more discussion on this matter? Or if y'all are still reviewing, let me know.
So it's saying that they are aware that they need a contract. They begin the process to begin the contract, inserted me and invited both parties to the contract. But are they talking about then or now? So the transition into the new position, I feel like those two sentences in like the last paragraph are contradicting, but maybe they're talking about two different time frames. So it says they begin the process to begin the contract on certain and invited both parties. And then it says in a transition into the new position, the completion of the contract was an oversight. So are they saying they begin the process, like, can you see if they began the process back then in August 2022, or they're talking about since they realized they needed one?
They completed was 9.
Right, but when did they, I'm trying to see if this was an issue with insert, like they started the contract, inserted in August.
Who could be a certified because they started on paper and didn't realize, and then they started their supervision when we were on paper. Certified came about mid-supervision. they switched jobs and maybe didn't understand how CERTA may work.
That's not what they said.
No, I'm just reading all in between the lines, so don't listen to me.
She's just trying to,
Don't listen to me, this
Go
is just
back
my,
in there.
this is me reading between the lines, so I'm
Um,
thinking in fairness, maybe
right,
the
you just
deny and compliance hearing that we're doing fair.
Yeah, but I just was trying to make sure, I'm just trying to make sure I'm understanding what
Yeah.
this says.
They
Like,
had a
unless
contract,
I'm
a
reading-
paper contract on
No,
file.
on this last paragraph, where they say, I begin the process to begin the contract on Certami, inviting both parties to the contract. Are they talking about in August?
Oh, I don't think so.
Okay, that's,
I don't think so.
they talking about now?
Yeah,
Okay, thank you, that's all I know.
transition into new position.
I think not.
We're on the same page, I just was trying to.
And then the
I don't think
second
so.
sentence, through the transition into the new position with Jefferson Parish, completion of the contract was an oversight.
Right.
So where are we with this? Where are we with this, board? With this, correspondence?
So I'm gonna make a motion if no one else doesn't have any questions and finish reviewing. I don't wanna disrupt y'all, but I'm gonna make a motion to deny and offer a compulsion.
A second.
It's been moved by Jamie to deny and offer compliance hearing. Is there a second?
I did.
Second by Trinity. Any public comment pertaining to this?
Yes.
Public comment, who? Jordan? I put it on there.
Shaffer.
Thank you. Jordan Schaffer, you are being recognized.
Hi, yes, are you able to hear me? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry. I just want to clarify. I didn't put the month when I began the contract. It was for September of 2022 was when I put that in.
Okay,
Okay, thank you.
okay, thank you.
Any other comments pertaining to this motion on the floor?
Somebody else has their hand raised. Give me just a second to find
Okay,
it.
no worries.
It's Gina.
Gina Rossi.
Mm-hmm.
Gina, you are being recognized.
Thank you. I just want to say that this is happening so frequently. I mean, I'm really surprised that this is happening so often, that when something like this occurs, usually people would say, we need to do some research, decide why is this happening? Where are the gaps of information? I think this is very unusual. And it deserves more attention and research about where is the ball being dropped? And it's not always a LMSW, it's not always a BACS. There is something missing.
Thank you, Gina, for your comment. Any other public comment pertaining to this motion? All right, hearing none, motion carries. Next item on the agenda is a request from Danielle Parkman for board to accept supervision completed without a contract. Let's see, Danielle Parkman's next request.
Has the contract been completed, Emily? Do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, as of
Well,
11/27.
It says as of November 27th.
Yeah, there's no contract.
I don't know.
23?
Of 23, 11/27/23.
Maybe overlooking it.
It doesn't say, I didn't see that it said unless I missed it.
Okay, that's all.
Yeah, it doesn't say.
So has this matter been resolved? Like, this seems like this is still live. This is just happening. This was 3
Right.
days ago. I mean, so to Laura's question, has anything been updated and served to me since? This just happened
I think
on
it-
November 27th.
I think we just gotta go with what we got. And according to this, as of 3 days ago, we still don't have a contract.
So,
And I don't,
yeah, you wanna make it or if you want me? I'm more inclined either to just to deny an offer compliance hearing or just deny it flat out. Yeah, either way, so just deny an offer compliance.
At this time, there's a motion on the floor made to deny and offer compliance hearing. Is there a second?
Second.
Second, a motion made by Trinity to deny off compliance hearing, second by Bora. Is there any public comment pertaining to this motion? Any objections or abstentions? Hearing none, motion carries. Okay, this is a public comment that was placed in public comment section by Ryan Oprey. I was not here. I'm assuming that was already addressed.
No.
It was not. Okay, well, the comment is made. It is posted for the public to read. Is Mr. Oprey here to read his public comment? Oprey? Okay.
Requesting to read it aloud, yeah.
Okay, so at this time, I will allow it. I would allow for public comment to be read by Mr. Oprey at this time. Because it was listed in public comment in the beginning, I will allow it. Go ahead, Mr. Oprey. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You are being recognized.
You see it?
Yeah,
I see the hand up.
I don't see him on this list.
Yeah, he's there.
He's out there, Jim.
Yeah, it says Ryan O'Fry.
The yellow hand, the little Simpson hand.
Yeah, he's there. Can you hear me?
No, we
can't hear you. Gina also offered to read it aloud. He said, I'm not sure how to do the audio, is what.
Emily has to give him
Okay,
so
it took me a while to
she found
find
it.
him.
Yeah, she had to give him permission.
There's a lot of people, in the list, and I have to find him.
Yeah.
But I just found him and asked him to unmute.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. To members of the board, my name is Ryan O'Pry. I'm a licensed clinical social worker in BACS. I'm writing this letter in regards to BACS supervision, and I requested that it be read aloud. As a current BACS supervisor in good standing with the board, I'm writing with great concern related to the process for approval of virtual supervision. As you're aware, we are in the midst of a mental health crisis with some of the most severe consequences, including suicide and poverty. We work in a state that is greatly under-resourced, leaving families and children to pay the emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual costs of budget cuts. At the forefront of this service gap are our LMSWs. I became a BACS supervisor after experiencing firsthand the mentorship and guidance from my own BACS supervisor. This was critical to my survival in my underpaying, understaffed jobs. The board requirements leave the clinical supervisory location in the hands of the board is untenable and an undue burden to our profession. By fulfilling all the hours and requirements necessary to be a BACS supervisor, we abide by the highest expectations of ethical conduct. It is unclear to me why we are entrusted with such an important task and then not given the means to complete it. The pandemic showed us that not only can virtual supervision work, it actually allowed us to reach those previously unable to receive services due to barriers. Even now, this letter is being read in a virtual forum that has allowed more social workers to participate in their own board meetings than ever before. I am imploring the board to honor the sacrifice of BACS supervisors and our collective wisdom by allowing us the autonomy to approve virtual supervision. This is not a job that I make money off of. It is a labor of love. If BACS supervision continues to include more barriers to be able to do my job effectively, I'm afraid that I will no longer be able to accept supervisees. As it stands, I am not currently accepting new supervisees until I can be assured that our lengthy supervisory relationship will not become overwhelmed with logistical barriers. I respect the work of the board, and with that respect, ask that this current problem be remedied as quickly as possible to allow us to continue supporting LMSWs. Sorry, I'm a little nervous, but thank you for your time and consideration.
Thank you, Ryan. Can you pronounce that is it O'Pry?
It's O'Pry.
Thank you, Ryan O'Pry, for your comment and your correspondence to the board. Thank you. All right. At this time, if Jennifer Hannon is on the call, I will allow her for her comment because she asked to make a comment as well. I think she's still on since I opened up the period for public comment pertaining to virtual supervision. You're on, Jennifer?
Hold on, I probably have to go back and allow her to talk. Okay. Jennifer, you can unmute. Hands. Whose hand is raised?
Margaret. Or her, yeah, Amen.
So we can let, while Jennifer's trying to come on, because I did tell her I was gonna open up that public comment. If Margaret wants to be recognized, Emily, and you're able to unmute her, she could be recognized while Jennifer's trying to get back. Is Margaret Hubbard?
Yeah, Amen, I think.
Wait, I don't see a Margaret Abear. I see a Margaret Hubbard.
It's Hebert. That's pronounced Abear.
She knows that she's from here.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
All I see is Margaret.
I just thought when she said Hubbard.
No, there's somebody named Margaret Hubbard in the list. Well. And I can't find Margaret Abear in this list on my side. I don't understand why it's given. Okay, so I'm at the top. She is not here.
I thought that she was pronounced Abear's Hubbard.
No.
Nope, there she is. Go ahead, Ms. Abear.
Ms. Abear? Something's happening. Hold on, y'all.
Is she muted? She has to unmute. She just clicked that.
Oh, now can you hear me?
Ms. Margaret?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, yes, we have public comment at this time regarding the virtual supervision. I don't think you had an opportunity to speak.
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak. I've been a social worker for over 45 years, and I'm an LCSW BACS. I'm currently retired, but as I listen to the letters or the references to the letters, I feel like it would be appropriate for the board to refer those letters to the supervision committee so that they might have the benefit of what's the information that's shared in those letters. So that's just my recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Margaret, for that comment, and that is exactly what's happening, what's going to happen. When we get them, the supervision committee, they already have some information, and they will get additional information regarding this request. Thank you so much, Ms. Margaret.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else that needs to be recognized? Is it Jennifer still on? If she's not, we're moving on. So I did allow that opportunity to speak. The public comments. Do we have public comment, or because I'm about to close it? It's about to get closed. Because we're going into lunch.
I don't have any more hands raised.
All right, everyone. So that public comment period is closed. Next item on the agenda, we can get through these two. Joanna Spurgeon requesting a rule change for virtual supervision. Very similar to
the only thing I would like to add, it looks like this isn't a specific request, this is just a specific request regarding virtual supervision that we've already discussed.
Right.
But this person mentions that supervision with their supervisee will require a 1.5 hour drive for in-person supervision requirements. And so I just want to refer them to, what's the rule? You just said it about
503H.
503H, because that supervisee can make a request for virtual supervision based on
consideration to the board.
Blah, blah,
to
blah,
the board. So again, and I've said that earlier, we have a rule for remote supervision. It may not be the one that people are not comfortable with right now. We are working This board is a working board, as you all can tell, but we do have 503H that allows some considerations for remote supervision. That is what we have currently right now. That is what we are operating from.
And can, Madam Chair, can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Can I just, tell Miss Spurgeon, thank you for your concern, for writing to the board, and, just follow 503H.
Okay. All right. Anybody? Okay, so where we are, that's okay. Next item on the agenda is Michelle Thibodeau requesting rule change. Okay, this is a letter from the Louisiana Association of Clinical Social Workers. And it's a correspondence. It seems to be a position letter from the association. Yeah, because it's titled LACSW President. So, I don't know if Michelle is on the call and she wishes to speak to the letter. I would allow that because it's an association that has drafted it, speaking on behalf of LACSW. If not, the letter and position has been received by the board regarding virtual supervision.
I don't see it here.
Okay. So we do have clarification on this matter. I have said it several times. The Rules Committee has already stated, and we've covered this matter. Any other dialogue regarding this? I don't have to rush through it. It's whatever you guys decide. If there's any comments about it?
Was this Burris's letter?
No, this is LACSW's position letter, in support for remote supervision. You know, clearly full support for remote supervision. I will say that, got it. I don't have nothing else to say.
What I'm gonna say is, I would like to say something. I just want to say, Madam Chair, if you allow me the opportunity to speak, is just to say that I appreciate LACSW for providing the board with a letter, and prior to them submitting it to someone else or placing it on a website, or but giving us that information beforehand and allowing us to review that. I really do appreciate them doing that for us and giving us that opportunity to review it.
Review, I'm sorry, Trinity, review information from them?
No, just allowing us as a board to have access to this information, then having it posted, let's say on Facebook or social
media. What
media.
Information, I'm sorry.
This information, having us, the letter to review it today, instead of it being placed on a social media platform such as Facebook or Twitter or something.
Well, I will say this, we do not have any control as to what an association feels is best to communicate with their membership as well as the public. We cannot control that.
Right.
They have every right to put information out there that their association feels that they want to share with the public and its members. So we cannot do that.
Right, but I'm just thanking them for
open letters.
Yeah, and so we don't have any authority to you know, to impose that on these associations. And they have every right to write their position and submit it to the board as a correspondence, okay? But again, thank you. We are continuing to be transparent. I do believe that this board is transparent. I do want to speak to that. And to work to curb feelings of concern and frustration felt by those it serves. I do receive that feedback from you, LACSW, and I appreciate that. Some of the ways that the board has been transparent. We, of course, our board meetings are virtual, accessible to the public. They are recorded and posted on the website. Addition to that, our committee meetings, of course, you all know that because I get concerns like, Lord, why are we having 2-3 hour committee meetings? Well, that's transparency. So it won't be said that the board's making decisions behind closed doors. So that's transparency. Committee meetings. We have our board members, each of them serve as a chair of a committee. In addition to that, transparency, we have a newsletter that goes out quarterly that is posted on the website that reiterates in the best way that we can 4 pages of what we have been doing in that quarter. That is something that was reinstituted. We had paused on the newsletter, so let's just be clear. So this current board composition has been very transparent. And earlier today in my little song and dance routine that my board members allowed me to do, and I appreciate, I hope that helped curb some feelings of concern and frustration by those, to let them know that we are working for you. Please know that we are working for you. With that being said, thank you so much, LACSW, for your position and position letter, and it is being taken and it is accepted into record and being considered. Next item on the agenda is Jennifer Burris requesting rule change for virtual supervision. Any comments pertaining to this correspondence? Okay. All right, and so with that being said, there is nothing left at this point. We are at 12:02, folks. We are going to move into having lunch. We need a break. The board is getting a little antsy, they need breaks. So we would like to take lunch. Now, with that being said, we will be going into executive session. Oh, wait a minute.
You might need to do it now.
No, let's see something.
At 1 o'clock, we start compliance hearing, and they are in executive session.
So, to Dr. Boynton's point, we are going to call for a motion to go into executive session, and then we will need to let the public know when we plan to come back out and finish our meeting. So, at this time, let's determine that, y'all. Let's see, looking at the agenda, we still have matters pertaining to the board we need to complete. And we have
The IPP report at 3 o'clock.
and 3.
3:30.
So,
I was hoping. You making a motion or?
Oh, is it noon?
I'm just joking.
so I'm gonna tell you, we are going to be coming back at 4. Y'all not happy to hear that, huh?
No.
No, but that's
Madam
realistic.
Chair?
That's realistic.
Yeah,
Cause we gotta review the applications too.
Oh, okay.
It's just
And the
looking like
people-
that. I'm
the
gonna double
hearing
check
on
and
the
look at this
delivery.
again.
Yeah.
Let me look at it again, because we have 5B through G to go through. We gotta get a status update on contract with Covalent, right?
But that's public, huh?
That's public.
Mhm.
So, and so we have executive, let me see, 1, 3, and we have applications.
We got correspondence.
I mean, I'm hearing 3:30, let's say 3:45.
Wait, hold on, let's talk this out.
Oh, you thinking 4 too, huh?
Yes. And
So let's leave it at 4.
So we have.
No,
we have
I said
4.
4 in the beginning. We go with
You want me
4.
to, okay, I'm just break it down.
We'll
It's
go
a
with
lot.
4 because y'all are really saying what we have, and I put up 4. So we're gonna go into executive session. I'll call for a motion to do that. We're letting public know we're coming back at 4 p.m. We have a lot to cover, because we didn't have a meeting in November. That's what happens when you have a break. So, all right, motion to go into executive session, moved by Jamie, second by Melissa. Roll call.
Roll call, Hyacinth McKee,
Yes.
Jamie Barney.
Yes.
Melissa Haley.
Yes.
Indy Saraparu.
Yes.
Evan Bergeron's not here. Trinity George.
Yes.
Morris and Sarah, yes.
All right, so at this time, we're going to executive session. Thank you so much for your time and attention. We will return in public viewing at 4 p.m. today. Thank you.
Give me a minute, because I have to Figure out how to now.
So when we come back at 4, we gonna be dealing with 6 and 7?
Can y'all see my?
5, 6, and 7.
Can y'all see my?
5, 6, and 7.
mouse?
Yes, it's right over her name. Okay, now you're over the people. Gina,
I'm trying to pull this back over.
so somebody raised their hand and you.
Oh, she had a, I didn't see that before she closed public comment.
Yeah.
I can't get back to
So
the webinar to put everything on mute.
And now it's the screen.
well, that's because she minimized it.
So Margaret A. there.
Do you have the control panel at the bottom on your screen?
No, that's what I'm trying to find.
How do you log in? Through like the web? Or do you have an app? What you trying to do?
Through the internet.
So what's your name? What you trying to do? He's trying to mute the meeting. Does anybody know how to find it? She's trying to meet the meeting, but she don't want to open it. Yeah. So just be aware, it's still on. You still live?
We're still live.
We're still live?
Yeah, they can't mute it.
Oh. I wonder if we can't end it and rejoin. Can we log or just rejoin?
Well, they could probably do that.
But log out. It's the weather too.
No, I think it's when she puts it over here, that it's not on her screen. Then
Bring everything up.
it's over there, so you gotta grab it and pull it back. Probably. I don't know how your view is, but I see your mouse over here, Emily. Go to the right.
I can't see the.
Can't see it. Yeah, I'm out. It's crazy how you gotta grab it and drag it. I am not wide at all about that. I don't know. Right.
Who is this?
It went off the screen.
Isn't that so, the person? Is that the owner of the building? Is it the landlord? I think it might be somebody, but I'm noticing he looked up and then I see there's like a big spot right there.
I got all bad.